What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Mola Mass Draft Mode Tournament presented by Amazon Appstore. It's your guy Gimmick, and I am joined here by none other than Valky. And, let's just get that out of the way right now, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
we don't want any mishaps during the show.
No, probably not. But what a day it's been. We have a lot of exciting things for you guys right here. But we have a big draft mode tournament that we've been doing all day here, aside from this great in-person event. And once again, this is sponsored and presented by the Amazon App Store. If you guys didn't know, you can get up to 10% back by using purchases through Amazon App Store with Amazon Coins. And as a special deal for today and tomorrow, you can get 5% back as well when making purchases in Epic 7. So if you're interested, be sure to check the QR right there, or even in the chat or the description below. And on top of that, not only do we have some great
Don't forget, today is Hunt Buff, and we got Rift as well. So make sure, hey guys, Hunt check. Make sure you guys are resetting your hunts, resetting your rifts, and if you are picking up those Burning Passion packs, hey, might as well get a little bit of extra discount on top with that Amazon App Store discount.
Absolutely. Great to use the Amazon App Store. Thank you again for presenting this with us. And not only that, we do have a little bit of extra as well for the Twitch viewers. We have some extra drops for people watching for 15 minutes or more, getting 3 leaves, 300k gold. So if you're watching on Twitch, be sure to check that campaign. Make sure you're getting your watch and drops in as soon as you can to claim those rewards. But man, are you excited for today? I'm pretty excited for today.
I'm pretty excited. We got to see some fantastic and great games, and oh man, some of those games are really funny, and I'm ready for some more.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, why don't we take a moment to talk about the format, especially because maybe a lot of people might not be aware of what draft mode is and how it works. So to start off the tournament here, draft mode is this great mode in Epic 7 where players can choose from heroes that are already pre-built, fully maxed out, everything. And they get to choice between one of 3 picks, and then they go down the line, they ban out their opponent's pick, and then they go straight into a match.
Different heroes are organized by different tiers based on their picks. Like, for example, first picks will always be some of the most meta units, and when you get to 2, 3, 4, the quality starts to become a little bit of a wild card, and by 5th pick, it is an absolute mystery bag. And the skill here comes from pulling together a consistent team composition, and that can also deal with your opponent's team. So be sure to check out these good plays.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for the tournament formatting as well, we have a few things here, including how are we going to be playing our matches and maybe even the prizes as well. So our first matches for top 8 are going to be best of 1, but as we get into semifinals, our 3rd place match, and our grand finals, those will all be best of 3, single elimination. And hey, check out these amazing prizes that our 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place winner will be able to obtain as well.
Ooh, okay. I'm looking at that Archie plush. Hey, sometimes, maybe you go for that 3rd place match. I know a lot of people want that Archie plush.
It's a very, very comfy plush. Will say, speaking from experience, I do have the little Mola joining me today. Unfortunately, fortunately, he is our special guest for today, so he will not be able to be taken home, but I will be able to, keep him comfort during these matches. But I think we're going to be getting ready for our first match in just a moment here, I think.
Our contestants have long and geared themselves ready for this. And whenever they're ready, I do believe we'll be diving head first into our, kickoff match of the day.
Absolutely, absolutely. And chat, I'm very excited to get this started right here, right now, as our players are going to be coming up just in a moment here.
All right, Gimmick.
What?
What was the funniest match we saw today?
The funniest match we saw today? Ooh, there was quite a lot, I have to say. I think my favorite one had to be... I think the Deep Corvus match was pretty funny that we saw, just having to hold down as long as they can and then just trying their absolute best to push back. It was kind of funny in a way that was yeah, we're
okay,
kind of
for context, guys, there was a Dark Corvus match earlier that was he kills a Destina, a Ravi Revive brings her back, and then kills a Ravi, Destina brings her back. That Dark Corvus is trying to play whack-a-mole.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so you might be seeing here our players are actually getting fitted with some extra earbuds and noise-canceling headphones. This is just so that, maybe our top-tier analysis isn't leaked through and might give them a little bit of an advantage. But, it's going to be a nice and comfy time for these players.
And once again, guys, don't look up. Don't accidentally look up either.
Don't do that, or else you'll be thrown right out. Again, last warning, as I had said to the venue. But yeah, I mean, for Epic 7, we've had so much excitement coming up for these last couple of days. Especially, I think a lot of people might be talking about a certain light mage that might have been announced. Are we all excited for New Moon Luna?
Yeah, absolutely. Count me in. I'm so excited. My resources are ready. Hopefully that's enough. I don't
Hopefully,
exactly
fingers crossed, fingers crossed.
Yeah, I'm praying for myself, and I'm praying for everybody else out here. You know, pull that New Moon Luna. She looks absolutely fantastic.
Yes, indeed. I'm very excited. And I think we're about ready to get into our first match here. You ready to start it off?
Absolutely, whenever you're ready.
All right, let's get it going. 2-1, and we're in.
Ooh. Coming up, let's see. First round of picks up already. We got some fast units and some slower anchors. So playstyles available for both players. We got the Janua up against Navy Captain Landy. Janua, one of the newest units to hit the block, an absolute threat. Whenever he's on the board and you threaten him with any form of damage, he will hit you back twice as hard. Navy Captain Landy as well, no slouch. Probably one of the few units that can actually stand up to him.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this kind of play between the two here, right? Navy Captain Landing having that huge anti-crit resistance. However, here comes the Midnight Gala Lulia saying, hey, I don't really care about how much crit rest you have. I am going to guarantee that no matter what. And here on our right side, we have Pirate Captain Flan coming up as well. Gonna be some pretty interesting picks here.
Guaranteed critical hits is a banger, and you know, not only is she a good tank buster, but her damage lets her melt squishy units as well. Gala Lily is certainly a crowd favorite, and honestly, you don't think too much about Pirate Captain Flan and Constructed just because she's so hard to use.
Absolutely.
But in draft mode, where the game mode is so uncertain, there's so much, you know, you don't know if your opponent can get cleansers or not.
Right.
She's just always a ever-present threat. She can stun 4 units, she can stun 1, and a lot of damage will come with that.
Oh yeah, she's the bomb.
And I do believe I saw a reroll there going on. You know, red team player kind of reevaluating his options, getting an Albedo.
Okay, big damage resistance. Again, a little bit of counterintuitiveness between the Navy Captain Landy and Albedo, because Albedo does proc whenever someone's crit, but it's a great use of kind of like a backup option, right? If that Janua does manage to come through and deal a big crit, or if that Midnight Gala release does in fact go through, right, at least they'll be reducing a lot of that damage that's coming in.
Sage Ball picked up for blue side as well. That is a pick you'll see very often picked for anti-crit and anti-aggression. He'll steal CR, take the turn, and then put the entire enemy team to sleep.
Absolutely. You know, I find it interesting because I feel like a lot of people do choose on their third pick. That's their reroll turn, right? I feel like that's the most pivotal turn that you can really take for figuring out how you can round your draft. And I think that a lot of people usually do the 3-4 spot. What do you usually do for your reroll? Is it more like, you know, as you see fit, or?
I think for me, I look at my composition, see what my units are, see where my power points are, right? See where the strength comes in. And so, you know, also evaluate my opponent's team and kind of think about the interactions.
Absolutely.
And if I think I need, like, for example, a cleanse or maybe an anti-cleave technology, I generally try to fish for it on 4 or maybe 5. 3 is a bit early for me.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I've always seen a lot of people talk about 3-pick. Anyways, here we have as well the Dragon King Sharoon here being able to stuff out those big stuns from Pirate Captain Flan if they get to go through with the bombs. It's very interesting to see. I've heard that, you know, even though she is anti-stun, she's also a great stun enabler with her skill 1 being able to stun. It's a very interesting dynamic.
She is a very competent unit, but I guess there is a lot of stuns incoming, especially with the Pirate Captain Flan. So no matter what, that has to be a consideration for your ban if you're the red side player. Red side player, however, you know, got the K-Ron as well as the Fairy Tale Tenebria. That is a threat if I've ever seen it. Now, a lot of newer and more casual players might not be familiar with her, but to put it very quite simply, Fairy Tale Tenebria was the OG Knockwool. So if you are not fast and you do not have strong cleanse, that is a unit you want to either ban or you want to just have a way to outplay her.
Absolutely. And I think that with the redirected provoke, it'll probably be going into the Albedo, which might be a pretty interesting dynamic here. Let's see what these bans are. Going for the Midnight Gala Lilius and the Fairy Tale Tenebria ban here.
Takes these two right out, and like we said, you do not want to play against Fairy Tale Tenebria when you do not have cleanse, and also guaranteed critical hits. That one hits a little too hard, so we'll be going right into the match.
All right, let's get our first match of top
You're in
going
trouble
right
now.
Here. Pirate Captain Flan is going to be setting the tone here with the skill 3, maybe? I don't know. How do you usually see Pirate Captain Flan being played? Is it usually to plant those bombs?
If you want to pass
they
this
just got
No
it.
immunities, you just rip it. I mean, normally you rip it anyway, but do you want to do that? And wow, immediately.
Can you handle this?
No, on the immunity unit, but she's still going
Shall I
on
handle
anyway.
this?
Bombs on 3 units there. Sage Ball with 1 high ER unit.
Yep.
Being able to resist those bombs. And now, do you go for it? The Navy Captain Landy's anti-crit is protecting the immunity off of both the Fire Kron as well as the Albedo. So not going to be the most value, just going to the simple clap, put the Pirate Captain Flan to
Night-night,
sleep.
Captain Flan. And I feel like, you know, Sage Ball has always been a very pivotal unit in anti-aggression, but does that really stick out here in a match that's a little bit more slower pace aside from Pirate Captain Flan?
Probably not. I think both players are sort of playing the slower standard tempo, especially with this Albedo. You got a lot of room to just play it slow and steady. However, if your immunity goes, I do believe that this Archdemon could do a number, especially if Dragon King Sharoon can get Cascade up on her team. Now, whenever your extra attacks or your AoE attacks comes through, that is going to be a lot of extra damage since that is a fixed number. We're going to drop an S1 on the landing, but no counterattack.
No salvo.
Luckily, no salvo. That is, woo.
Yeah, saving grace there. Now, I will say that the entire right side is full of passives. It's going to be pretty dangerous. And here comes the Aegis Unfold as well as they take a critical hit. Big damage all across the board, but that does proc the Janua too. And he's going to cleanse off that bomb and prevent any sort of stun from causing any trouble later in the match.
Yeah, he's flipping his hair, shooting himself up the CR bar. No more bombs to stop him. And with that enraged buff, he will be able to get that extra attack into the ultimate, which lets him hit like an absolute truck. And honestly, I think right side, no unit is safe.
Absolutely. Let's see how this Dragon King Sharoon plays out. The decreased CR does go through another counter, but now Sage Ball is able to cut between Pirate Captain Flame, which might be able to stop their momentum. With that AoE sleep, good night to only one
double-edged crescent,
letting
the Kron hit back real hard. We're putting the Janua into immortality right now. Navy Captain Landy, armed and ready. You know, she does have that anti-crit, but that defense break on her biggest damage multiplier in the game hit super hard.
No salvo once more. Unfortunate. It is a lower chance other than 50, but ooh, so close. Big crit.
Oh, one hit through the defense break. And we do have that extra attack coming in, splashing onto the Pirate Captain Flan, gets taken out.
All right, Kron is here. He does have that skill 3 to help push his bombs if needed, but is he going to do anything with that?
Kron needs to come up big here. We're going to target the Sage Ball, choking him out of his light force. And if he does land the kill, all of his buffs are going to be extended by another turn. Immunity, immortality, evasion, he's got it all. And Archdemon Shadow goes down as well. Janua with the lone man standing. He needs to be able to close this one out. But I don't know. I think his immortality is out. Can he beat a Kron from this spot?
It's going to be very tough. He's going to do as much damage that a greater attack buff into the skill 3. That's going to be a nice heal, but is 9k health going to be enough to survive with the stealth? Oh, and he cuts, so he's going to lose his stealth too. Dangerous position here.
When you have that enrage buff, does give you 20% speed. He is going to be very fast. And the counter attack as well. Kron knocks him out of stealth. And now I think he just finishes him off. Soulburn, swipe.
Big hit. Let me remind you who's the OG immortality right here.
Woo.
Game, set, match. GG's to both players. What a game.
I do believe Phantom Dash takes that one. Wow. You know, that matchup is usually extremely Janua favored, and here we see the Kron finally taking one W for himself.
Absolutely. I think it's mainly because his immortality was procced after the Janua, right? So he had a turn order and had an advantage in that spot, but maybe, just maybe, if he didn't cut, if that counter didn't go through, he might have been able to survive that.
And I mean, also, the Kron picked off the Sage Ball. Like, these characters were so low HP from the Navy Captain counters that the Kron basically had to pick up the litter, and when he himself countered, oof, it was just a done deal.
Game, set, match right from there. Awesome start to our top 8. I think many of us would agree here. I love seeing those big hits, especially those last, literally 1 health to 1 health. I mean, crazy stuff back and forth here. We're getting ready for our next match in just a moment here, so be sure to stay tuned. But man, how are we feeling about this top 8 so far?
I mean, we got to see some really interesting plays today. And I definitely think that when you are playing this format, a lot of times having that creativity and having just a little bit of luck, you know, with the Navy Captain landing counters, with the Kron counters, double-edged crescent, Elbrus Ritual Sword.
No salvos, at least. Hey, that's what I will say, though.
Yeah, just a little bit of luck sometimes is all you need, right?
All you need, right?
You get the right drafts in, and you don't need to be that lucky. just to come out.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, I think a lot of it does come down to, hey, do I know these characters? Do I know how they function? Do I know how they work together, right? And I felt like even though that draft did feel a little bit left and right, there was still enough mitigation. There was great team support, having a great opener to help really cripple the opponent. All those pieces came together, and that did leave Kayron to seal the deal, which he usually does, right? He's usually that closer.
Well, I was actually going to say Navy Captain Landy is usually the one that anchors down the entire match.
Okay, true.
And she's the one holding it down, 70% anti-crit. But in this case, just gets picked off as the first kill, and it was up to Kayron to kind of hold it down.
Yeah. I will say that it looks exactly like my Navy Captain Landing, especially in Guild Wars. It's like, she won't even have the death break. It'll be just like, okay, I'm just here. I've got all of my things. Oh, there she goes. Right, just gone. Where's my Landy? I have 2 units now, and I guess I have to wait for 30 billion turns to make sure this all gets chipped away. That's just how it is sometimes. We live and die by 30%.
We absolutely do. I mean, I feel like that's how a lot of the game is balanced. Navy Captain Landy is supposed to be an extremely solid matchup versus Janua, but
Right.
a lot of times you see that orange number come up, facepalm, and hey, maybe it's not the next game, but luckily here we got that Kayron.
I called it from the beginning. I was like, I saw Janua. You take out Midnight Gala Lilius, and then you bring in, for that Landy. It's going to happen anyways. You might as well batten down the hatches with that Albedo, right? With the crit damage reduction. Wasn't enough reduction given the death break, but hey, looking out just as I was, right? Just kind of how it is sometimes. Got to prepare for every last situation. And with draft mode, you just got to deal with the cards you're dealt, right?
Yep, and it seems like both players are ready. So
right.
without further ado, let's send it.
Let's get into our next match, ladies and gentlemen, with our next 2 players. Beautiful profile pictures, by the way. I love how much time and detail went into those.
Ooh, oh boy, we're seeing
boy.
the usual suspects again.
Here we go.
Prime suspect, Blood Moon Haze and Sea Phantom Politis. Those are some of the hot button units for
Absolutely.
2024, aren't they?
Great, just opener, right? A very, very good opener to just help get your team rounded up immediately. And you have this great unit that can stand long fights, heal, revive, just the whole 9 yards, right?
I mean, Blood Moon Haze is one of those characters people were begging for buffs.
Absolutely.
For, what, 3 years now?
For a while, I will say.
And they quite literally made him the strongest character in the game.
Well, you know how it
He
is.
can heal, he can revive, he can strip buffs, right? It used to be that he was a niche character that only countered, what?
Revives.
Revives,
Yep.
right? And now, what does he counter? Deaths?
Well, I mean, he also is built on counter set, right? So, he was like, you know what? I'm tired of my opponents surviving so much. I'm going to do this myself here. We have,
And you know what? I'm really curious about this last piece Corinne build. I wonder if that exclusive equipment is in, because she got an exclusive equipment recently that reveals stealth, which if you build her fast enough, should go ahead of the Sea Phantom Politis. Take her out of stealth and absolutely knock her out of the match. I'm actually very excited to see if that is the build at play here.
I do believe there were some players who were telling me that the EE is not currently equipped, but I think it'll probably come in a short update soon. I think that's what's really interesting here. Also, this Assassin Cartuja pick. How do we feel about this?
Assassin Cartuja, the way I think about him, right? Whenever you draft an Aureus Knight, your team is about 20 to 35% tankier with that damage redirect.
Definitely.
Assassin Cartuja effectively just makes your team 20% tankier because your entire team just has a 20% chance to evade.
True.
And on top of that, there's actually a little bit of value here against the Silverblade Araminta. When she makes it rain meteors, the burns, the stuns are going to come through. When you evade, you get to jump all of that. You don't have to care.
And what's also really nice is that, using things like snow crystals as well to push up on the anti-crit. I'm very interested to see how players might be using that, because I know that a lot of people are actually using it on the newly released Wukong as well. But snow crystal is a very interesting artifact as it is in Split. It is warrior exclusive, which means it is used on a lot of heroes, but I don't feel like a lot of them really want to use anti-crit unless they're built like Assassin Cartuja or built with anti-crit in mind, just like Immortal Wukong.
You touched on the word interesting, and I think T-Surin, Tempest Surin in draft mode is quite interesting. Fast build.
She is
and
so fast.
On Alexa's basket.
Oh, yeah.
So you always have a chance to just fish out a lot of damage and burst down your opponent, especially if they're doing a composition like that Silver Blade Airmytha, maybe like that Fire Politis, Veronica comes out as well.
That's a speed imprint.
Red team is definitely playing for that stun, bomb, burn.
Heavy control, absolutely. I'm interested to see what who's going to be doing here. We'll have to, I feel like, yeah, you got to ban out something here. Okay, so we're going to ban on the Blood Moon Haste and the Silver Blade Aramintha here. I think Aramintha makes the most sense because she is enabling the most amount of stuns for the team.
And going right into it, See Phantom Politis sees his first turn with the speed imprint from the Veronica to no one's surprise. So the last piece Corinne will not be showcasing any flashy amount of swordplay.
Oh yeah, but we'll have to see exactly how much this evasion comes into factor too. Again, it is an AoE evasion buff for the team, and usually that does benefit already evasion-centered heroes just like Remnant Violet and Aiden.
The dancing ghosts come out. We're getting spooky in here. Pushes the entire blue team back. 4 speed downs. That is what you do not want to see.
Absolutely.
Thankfully, Tempest Surin, when she does drop below an HP threshold, can cleanse. But Veronica here is going to go on the last piece. Corinne, we are looking to stun her. Bombs come through.
Bomb
Defense break comes through. No evasion in sight. She is looking not long for this world.
And I did notice that the Assassin Cartujo is actually built on Warhorn, which might mean they may have a little chance to cut here. Ooh, big detonation there. Taking out last piece Karin before she can set up her big buff.
That is already half of blue team's damage, so this is almost entirely up to the Tempest Surin. Thankfully, red team's team composition isn't that tanky. DJ Bazaar is going to use the S3 here. We're cleansing out the entire team, and CR pushing upward. Politis is going to be taking the turn, and now there is very little damage mitigation.
Oh, and the dodge!
Ooh, okay, that comes in, but here's the problem. It does trigger her cleanse passive.
That is true.
So yeah, now anything the Politis does is going to stick. That blind,
Well,
unbuffable.
hold on. We have that 20% evasion buff. Let's see it.
It does dodge! Oh my god, that is so clutch.
Huge. Going straight for it. You know what? No basket. Just fine. We're going to move, and we're just going to hit this big damage right here. Silencing 2 units. Eternus is procced. And the cleanse is gone, though.
About 30% of red team's HP. Ooh, that was what we needed, but is that going to be enough? That is always the big question. Assassin Cartuja finally getting a turn here.
Yep.
We are dropping the S3. Stun is
Big
going to come
combo.
out. Defense break. That's what we're looking for. And suddenly, it looks like we have a match on our hands. HP total completely equalized.
And don't forget, we have that Rwana.
Oh no! The dual attack! See, Phantom Politis was known for this. Pulls the Politis' highest attack character, not only drops a stun, but the kill. That takes out all of the tempo, the momentum, and the damage for blue team.
Assassin Cartuja doesn't deal too much damage, but they have a high amount of sustain. That's stun there, too. How much F-res does this Rwana have? And how much F does this DJB have?
Not a whole lot. Rowanna's not a character where, you want her to resist. You want her to be this undebuffable pillar.
Absolutely.
She's just here for the passive. You trigger the Politis, but man, not like this.
Not like that. The dual attack is going to go through here. Double dodge here. Again, a little bit more sustain here thanks to Rowana coming through, but she is way far back on that timeline. Is it going to be enough? Because he's going to get some healing here with the DJB. The dodge.
The DJB healing is going to be key here. Now,
Absolutely.
usually when you play an aggressive composition like this, and look at that.
Yeah.
Even though the last damage dealer for blue team is taken out, Assassin Cartuja with defense break still hits quite hard.
Absolutely.
So when you have these tanks just taking these, these wet pool noodle fights, even against clean compositions, you should be enough to close them out. But the DJ Bazaar, the Desert Jewel Bazaar, off of every single S1, he's just going to be able to keep his team topped off.
Yep.
While both Politises work down that last 2 guys standing, the Cartuja and the Roll.
I do think right side is going to be outpacing left side at this point, especially now that they have a Soul Burn 2 with DJB. That has a lot of healing. Not to be underestimated with that Soul Burn, but decides to just go for the normal one. No stun. Here comes Assassin Cartuja once more, trying to whittle away. I don't think that's enough. There's just too much damage on the field, unfortunately. Man, getting those units just taken out super early, especially last piece Karin. Very, very dangerous.
Yeah, and that's the power of the speed imprint with an opener. What do? Do you ban the opener? The speed imprint is still fast. She still has her utility. Or do you ban the imprint, but, the opener... See Phantom Politis herself still going to be dancing with those ghosts and disrupting your team's play.
I wonder what left side's going to do here. I think they do still have Rwana's skill 3 up here. Probably holding it just a little bit longer.
Shall we dance?
But I think that this is looking closer and closer into right side, especially now that you get a second wave of this skill 3 dancing on the ball and getting through some more speed.
These dancing ghosts are really dragging these the blue team's units back. You know, they're slowly getting their turns. They're already slow, and now they're being held back by the speed down. And
it doesn't help that regular Politis is there having the CR gain on Assassin Cartuja as well. Just a little bit, inch by inch. They're trying their best, but really be enough. Looking, again, more and more out of the favor of left side here. Another dual attack. Stella Harpa does proc, and another dodge. You know, left side, I will say, throughout all of this, has been getting tons of lucky dodges. I think it's only 20% evasion given by Assassin Cartuja. So, hey, count your blessings there, right?
I mean,
look at this soul game on right side as well.
The only issue is I think those dodges didn't come out when they needed him to. And oh yeah, when the enrage buff is up, Politis pulls Politis. WTF 2 Politises?
I know, right? Double poly?
Yeah, and the moment that Rowana goes down, all the healing goes down
they're going
well.
for the long fight. They're saying, you know what, my top 8 is on the line here. It is best of 1 for these first matches. I'm going to be showing everything that I can for this match, even if I die doing it. Oh, getting hit there, unfortunately, but the counterattack does heal him back up.
You know, right side team has throughout all this time built himself up 40 healthy souls. Wow,
That's
what a miss!
Dodge.
I was gonna say he was finally going to be able to all in and soul burn every soul, so Politis can just punch out that revive buff and clock out.
Is Politis accidentally ice? I don't know. It looks red to me against a green unit, but I could be wrong. My eyes could be a little wrong here.
Yeah, Assassin Cartuja is just out here doing his job. The other characters, I can't say so much.
Another dodge!
Oh my goodness.
Crazy. Again, take away anything from this match and just know, you know, you might want to go buy a lotto ticket. Just saying.
Assassin Cartuja says, I'm helping.
Yeah, big heals there. Now, we are in Frenzy 4, which means that healing is going way down, barriers are going down, and so is damage going up. All right, here comes another skill 3 here. Even though Assassin Cartuja is not that big of a damage dealer, 3.3k with a death break, no stun.
Yeah, I just want to say, you know, Assassin is in the name, but he's not out here to really kill anybody. He's more of a tank.
No, he really is a supportive. That's an oxymoron, ain't it? It's like a supportive assassin. Like, how does that work?
I mean, I guess it's like Albedo if you think about it, right? Albedo blocks 20% of crit damage. This just makes you evade 20% of the time. So,
true.
And if you really think about it, they kind of do a similar thing where they put down defense break and they just interfere with your opponent's turn order. But DJ Basar is going to drop that S3 again.
More and more.
Cleanses out these debuffs, and suddenly...
This is the 3rd time we're dancing in this beautiful ballroom with Colitis. Here comes a nightmare. Nightmare.
Oh my god.
I stuttered on my own words, but oh my goodness, there's so much going on here.
No revive buff for the Rowana now. 1 soul burn is going to be able to send her home back into the lobby. Ooh, thinking about it, taking the full 15 seconds when it's your tournament life on the line.
Okay, finally getting that hit there. Okay, it is fire. Okay, we do know. Another dodge here. This is going to be tough because a lot of the win condition is based on the bombs here. That's going to be a hard chance to evade, but if they hit it...
Assassin Cartuja does get 1 evade a turn, but no, that's the second hit.
That's the second.
Oh my god, he's really trying to win this.
He's really, again, just like putting on a show for all of us here. Really making sure to remember, hey, I got this far, I'm not backing out just yet. But the blind chance.
You know, I just noticed he's on Warhorn as well, so
yeah.
Even though he doesn't do too much damage, that's giving him a little bit of extra attack, letting him inch ever closer, but...
Man, this is just looking more and more troublesome here. I think it's just going to be curtains here for left side. We'll have to see though. You never know. There might be like a bout of like 80 crits. You just never really know. Again, as we said at the beginning of the match, right, with that T-Surin, anything can happen, but it is concluded here with the match going into
Assassin Cartuja finally gets sent to the lobby.
And so are we as we get ready for our next match. Dude, that T-Surin dodge was crazy, was it not? Like, that was so perfect.
Yeah, you know, I really thought she was going to be able to come back and, you know, absolutely counter swing the tempo and win the game, but no,
I think the
not enough.
did hit a crit, which barely in time. Again, if it would just had a little bit of extra health, I feel like the T-Surin would have been healed by the Rowana, and that could have been a completely different story. But, wow, what a match.
I think that is a huge theme for today. Fire Politis, you know, whether that was through the qualifiers or through our warm-up rounds,
Right.
Fire Politis was just such a pivotal unit across
Absolutely.
all matchups. And, you know, if you are a new player, whether you are an arena player, a GVG player, or an aspiring RTA player, learning to play Fire Politis, especially in this current meta
Absolutely.
with, you know, funnily enough, with ML Politis.
Right, especially with her in the fray. Like, I've been switching my politics. You know, I've been using Abyssal Crown for a long time. But if the defense doesn't have, like, a Dragon Pride Senya, if I say Janua, I throw Celine, and I throw my Fairy Tail for a Nightmare Politis. So she
Yes.
pulls out the buff, and then just gone.
You know, funny you mentioned that. That's actually one of my favorite tech builds
It's
in
great.
recent months.
It's great.
Because I play it against Janua.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, that's my favorite, right? You play Ram Politis, you're Ran, you know,
Yep.
right? And then he slashes. It puts the Janua in the immortality. He's like, I'm a cool guy. I'm going to flip my hair. He goes to the top of the CR bar, and your Politis is like, stop.
Halt.
Stop.
Halt shenanigan.
Yep. Drops her dolls, and then the Fairy Tale for a Nightmare strips the immortality and the extra damage, just sends him back to the lobby.
It's great because, you know, Politis' skill 2 already does have that one-turn tick down, but just in case you need another shot, you do have a 60% chance to dispel one buff with the Fairy Tale for a Nightmare.
Absolutely. Yep, our contestants are getting ready.
Geared up here, yep.
I'm going to try my best to remain unbiased, even though, my boy, let's get it!
Ooh, is this the one, the only, perhaps?
Victor C?
Victory.
Ooh, okay.
All right, we'll have to see who they choose here. Again, they're just getting all set up and ready to go. Beast
Beast
mode!
mode!
Beast mode! None other than Vic Chun showing up here to join us for this event.
Hey, you love to see it when...
We'd love to see our creators coming out for these events. Again, all the way from Canada. So, what looks like we're ready here. So, 3, 2, 1, into our next match.
the battle begins.
Alrighty.
Ooh, okay, what are we going to get? So, just in case you guys are curious, Vic Chung is on blue side versus Accelerator on the right. So far, I already see that one of the players is extremely favored in terms of these picks.
Maybe. Oh, going with the, yep.
Ooh, yep, Nadalon Monk, Nockwol versus Lua.
Oh, yeah.
Both characters are some of the most deadliest openers in the game, being able to reset other characters' cooldowns.
Oh, yeah.
They are so hard to deal with.
So the question is, who gets a lie here?
I think here, there are a couple of things you can do. I would even say it's red team favored right now.
Oh, yeah.
Both characters, both openers essentially, are looking to reset their opponent. And when you're the faster one, the other guy can't reset you, right? And Lua
true.
happens to be slightly faster.
Slightly faster. And Lua, you know, has a little bit more of a tank busting build. Interesting here for the Mediator Cleric, especially with the Qual on that other side. With the cooldown, tick down, he's not going to be able to cleanse the bind or any seal. Again, he doesn't have a passive, but not being able to use Nature's Authority to tick down a debuff by one turn when his skill 3 is ready could be a little dangerous. But let's see about these next picks here. Very interesting stuff.
I find it very interesting that both player opted for a Dark Warrior, and both of their roles are to cleanse the debuffs.
That's really funny, isn't it?
But both of them also happen to die to cooldown reset, so I wonder if they're just posturing to post-ban each other's first picks
I
at
feel like
this point.
that's a handshake first pick, right? So we have the Bellion on left side and the Bloodblade card on the right side. We've seen a lot of BBK throughout the match. The match that we were playing, actually, we were playing some casual matches, Valky and I, with the community here, but also throughout some of the tournament matches, we've been seeing Bloodblade card show up quite a bit and do some heavy damage.
That's not a unit you expect to see too much in Constructed and Ranked, but in Draft mode, when you have a character that, no matter what, can survive through a lot of damage and then clap back, they're going to see some play. And Assassin Sid here picked up for Vic, while Accelerator picks up Zahak for himself. So both players actually trying to speed up on each other to make plays. So I like this. I like where this is going.
Oh yeah, we like to see some fast matches.
Yep. Reroll comes out for Accelerator. Let's see it.
Ooh, that's a really good. We've seen also this opener here quite a bit as well, I will say.
I think we definitely got an aggressive match on our hands. I wonder if we're gonna see just an outright race. I mean, how do you go about this? I
feel like you have to, right? Like left side's got so much on their hands here. Ooh, backing out with a double counter here. Very interesting.
Oh, Briar Witch Iseria, though, that is such a good pick into the Destina.
Oh, yeah.
As the Destina player, you do not want to see that, knowing you will have your revives denied. But I think that is a clear Lua ban for blue team, whereas I think for red team, you might want to ban the Assassin Sid and just race the Monk.
Yeah, see if you can outspeed him, right? I mean, it's hard to say, right? Oh, and the Monk's going out.
And like you said, it's a handshake. They're trading out each other's first picks. We do not want to play with those cooldown resets.
So the question is, who does this Assassin Sid take out? I feel like it's got to be the Hawk, right? Oh my god, barely tailing behind here just by a second. And got the Alexis Basket, only the regular attack buff. Again, that was changed last patch. Let's see this damage, 10k.
That'll kill as a Hawk, no problem.
That is a fast Briar Witch, though.
Yeah, here's the problem. Briar Witch happens to be good versus every unit. Now, can you land this defense break and somehow chain that into your Bloodblade Corinne?
I don't think there's enough CR here. Everybody's hit. Big damage. Only the Destina staying alive, staying away from debuffs with that special buff that gives her a lot of FRS at the start of combat.
Designer Lilibet is going to steal the turn after this Mediator Coerc, so how do you want to posture your play? Do you go for the barrier?
Oh no, we go for this just because to avoid the reset.
Okay, yeah, we like holding our cooldown, so we're putting up attack buff, we're putting up immunity buff, as well as cleansing any existing cooldowns, or debuffs rather. And now Designer Lilibet, do you know, question swings back. Do you rip it for the damage, or do you hold it for maybe a future rotation when you take the attack down?
You have to. Ooh, big hit there from Designer
Wow.
And going for the skill 3 as well, knowing, hey, I'm not going to get revives for quite a while here, especially with that Briar still on the field. I'm going to make sure my team has a lot of tempo right now and keep it going. Now, if I was to be very funny, I feel like on the turn with Mediator Coerc, I would have skill 2 just to check if I was a DPS and just rip it through that Designer below that. But safer plays here.
Bellion now finally getting her turn. Effectiveness was not going to be a factor with immunity up for right side. And now we're dropping the S3 for the raw damage. And once again, Assassin Sid, being how fast he is, does get another turn. Greater attack buff. A little bit of a cheeky duel there for the damage.
For fun. All right, let's see how this barrier helps out. I wanted to see, maybe this is a damage mediator. Again, that is one of the builds for the list here. Let's see it. Yeah, that is a damage mediator.
11k. That would have one-shot him from full.
All right, here comes Bloodblade Card. Not at bottom of the health bar, but is this going to be enough to take out anybody? Not enough.
Oh, that almost takes out the Designer Lilibet, though. Designer Lilibet's usually pretty tanky, so
yeah,
caught me by surprise.
And pops it. It's out. This is going to be interesting to see. So pushing up the belly in here just for one more chance. It's not looking great here because you've got this damage mediator once again. But I don't think there's much else here.
Here's the problem. Immortality's out for right side. Yep. 2 units out. And, oh, even though it's a DPS Mediator Coerc, you can still have 1 carry left. You still have a bit of a stake left in this match, but do you go fast enough to stop this Destina? I want to say no.
Heavy injury there, only down to 20k health here. Looking a little dangerous here for right side, unfortunately. Has to skill 1 once again. Here comes the Elbrus as well. Unfortunately, that is not going to be enough.
If you're scared, run, and he is not running. He's standing his ground.
Oh, yeah.
And he's trying to do his job. He's doing his darnest. Another hit comes through. No extra attack. He's hanging on to dear life.
Skill 3 for the attack buff needs as much damage as possible. We'll be able to change the skill 2 right afterwards, but 17k health is not a lot. Unfortunately, we are going to Frenzy 2, so health scaling is going down yet again.
He is cycling as fast as he can. We're dropping the S2 onto the belly, and Guardian Ice Crystal is going to heal her back up a comfortable amount, and suddenly Meteor Coerc looking like he's not enough. Destina going for the safe play. That's always the safe play. Destina self S2. Rarely go wrong with that play.
Yep. Hey, I can get my turns back faster.
Yeah, Bellion not getting any extra attack here, and we're slowly but surely chipping down this Mediator, and Mediator just trying to punch down, you know, 1 punch at a time, actually hitting the Bellion quite hard, but now we finally got the Soul Burn. That is surely game.
And GG's.
GG's.
All right. What a match.
Oh, man.
A lot more tempo on that one. A lot more high pace on that. Again, I feel like maybe it could have been the difference between night and day. Let's go.
Gibby is a little bit of a gun show there, isn't he?
Heck yes, we love a little celebration here. A little self-love, right? But I will say that if that Bloodblade Karn was at 1 health, I think that might have been the difference on that BBK, or on the Designer Lilibet.
And that's sometimes all it takes, right? All you got to do is control your win condition. You know, you don't have to run all of your skills, get every character in, dropping damage left and right. If you are getting the right turns in and you are counting ahead just enough, you will barely edge out your opponent, and that's all that matters between a win and a loss.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was really curious to see if that Mediator Quarter Skill 2 would have torn through that design a little bit as well with the Death Break, but you know what? It was the safer play. It made the most sense in the time. Looking back at it, again, would have been pretty funny.
That would have been funny. I think that would have been a really strong play too. Imagine just you snap her out of existence.
Especially because she's a defense skiller, right? So she's gonna have so much defense. If you have a defense break, you can deal so much more damage, especially a character like that. Mm-hmm. So, and how much did it do against the Assassin's Blade? Like 10K,
11K, 11.306 if I remember the number correctly.
That might have been just it, but it was with the attack buff, so it could have been a difference between that attack buff. But man, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, that match to see. And
yeah.
That's exactly what we're talking about, right? When you're putting together a cohesive composition. And it was just so close. You know, Briarwitch did land the defense break on so many characters, stripped evasion off of the Sid as well. And if you could get a different, you know, any other carry, right? Mm-hmm. Anything besides the BBK, if you got a Vildred even, right? Getting that turn in would have been so important, and taking out the entire team.
Absolutely. All right, I think we're ready for our fourth matchup today. Let us get it. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Fourth match of the quarterfinals
right.
of the Mola Mash. Let's see.
We are on the, currently we are seeing these players in action. We'll keep you on a heads up play by play as we get our picks in. But for right now, no picks have been made. So we get the screen right back to it in just a moment.
You know, we got to see a very high-tempo match, and suddenly I'm getting the feeling we're seeing something, in fact, the exact opposite.
You know, seeing 2 Light Knights drafted in the first phase, I think I have to agree with you.
Yeah, this is, on the internet, you know, I got to tip my fedoras to my miladies for the White Knights out there, you know? And we're adding more! We got another White Knight here!
7.
Oh my god, there's 4 picks and there's 3 Light Knights!
We have a chance to be funny.
No. Let's not do that. Let's pick damage characters, you know?
Let's be funny.
You know, we like killing people, right, guys? There are 4 knights and 4 picks.
What are you saying, huh? I don't condone that.
Holy, I'll tell you what. No matter what happens with this match, both players are going to be incredibly hard to kill, and I'm scared by that reroll. You know what I see?
I see something that's going on here.
Oh man.
I'll have to wait and see what both opponents choose here. Again, I feel like it's going to be very funny if it comes to a certain outcome. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Look, you made it this far. You made it to top 8, right?
You might as well.
You went out with the Twitch clips. That's all I'll say. You went out with the YouTube and Twitch clips. That's all you need, right? Plastered across the internet for the rest of eternity.
Oh, goodness. Well, you know, the options are there. Do the players... And they're going to take it! Oh, no! There are 6 picks and 6 knights!
We're being very funny here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, well...
Wait, no, we still have a chance. We still have a chance on the left side here.
Hey, can I get a pillow and a blanket, you know? I don't know about you, my brother, but, like, I did not get that much
I'm always
sleep.
here and excited for Epic 7, all right? That's what I'll say. Though I will say, one of the biggest dangers here is there is the Crimson Armin and the Yolha. Both of them are Arius Knights.
Oh, wow. 8 picks, and we have 7 knights.
Let's go, Knight
one
7,
of the players ran out of
go!
knights, and hey, it is what it is.
Let's go, Knight 7.
You know, I think finally both sides are out of knights. We're only given damage option at this point.
Please. The game's going, please deal damage. Please. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be here until a New Moon Luna drops, brother.
We have tons of tanks. We have tank busters. I think that both side needs. I honestly see on the left side or on the right side here, we do have 2 great options. Okay. I was gonna say Alencia would have been a great pick here. Lots of injury. We have team injury on the left side here. I'm just gonna say it as is.
Death Dealer Ray is the utmost tank buster.
Absolutely.
Even though he doesn't do it as fast as some of the other characters, like the Galililius or Hua Young. But hey, death by 1,000 cuts.
Absolutely, he looks great while doing it. Now, double Aureus. I believe that does shut off one of the Aureuses, unless you have like a plus 29, plus 30, right? That used to be a thing, right? Where you'd have a plus 29 Aureus and a plus 30 in the same match.
Wow, you know, I never thought I'd say this, but Albedo takes the first turn.
Albedo taking the first turn.
Albedo
what a way to go.
First turn. I've never seen that.
This is funny.
In all of my years playing RTA, I've not seen a mitigator go first, but she's going to slam it down onto the Moor. We're looking to block the...
there we
Unbuffable
go.
does come through. Defense break comes out as well.
Here comes Ilyanov, big injury unit against 4 health scalers here. We'll have to see what happens. They're gonna rip it. They're gonna send it.
Yeah, I think both players know their win conditions as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy, Shifu on the left there, dropping the injury in already, activating the
Aegis
Albedo. Albedo kicks back and going to strip a layer of buffs, but you know, when you have this many tanks, there's effect resistance left and right. We're not
Absolutely.
going to be able to strip that critical hit damage buff.
Except for Mort. Mort's just chilling.
Mort is
He's having a good time.
he's going through it.
He's enjoying being here with everybody.
He's finally glad to
Here
get
comes
some
the counter.
screen time since you know, New Moon Luna, it's not him.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
He's
I made it.
but he
big
puts up his
danger
buff, he doesn't even get it.
Big danger here because Mort did do that counterattack, which did actually give the defense break, which means Vicious Tywin is online for a big stun here.
Arrowell going for the stun as well, takes every buff off of Ilyanov, and hey, that's all you need. Ilyanov removed, and the captain on the right is going to start working on the Mort. He's announced it. Albedo taking the turn, Abigail protecting her. That is a solid looking setup.
Lots of resistances here. And here comes the curse damage as well on the Ilyanov because she is actually the one with the highest attack.
Wait, that's actually kind of cute. You put the curse on the Ilyanov, and then Mort taking the defense break. That curse transferring 40% of any single target damage you do is going to come a huge value.
Absolutely. I've seen a pretty big hit where I saw like a Hua Yang hitting into a curse.
Ooh, okay.
It's a huge pop. All right, you see it here? Yep, 6K on that curse. Oh, and Mort's alive.
He's hanging on, but like not for much longer, right?
you
Crimson
know.
Armin can protect her team right here, but
Yep.
Mort is the,
look
you
at
know,
Rodin.
once again, Mort is the one that gets left behind.
Well, you know.
You know, he's used to it. He's used to it, right? Even on release, he barely missed the night meta.
I will say, lore-wise, I think it's okay that he gets left behind. That's all I'm saying. As a Senya enjoyer, as a lore head enjoyer, I think you understand why I am okay with this. Goodbye, Mort.
Yeah, I mean, that's been the name of the game for him, right? When Mort was first released into the game, he actually came out right after the most tankiest and night-heavy meta
Really?
in the history of the game. Yeah, it was Golden Boys.
Golden
with
Boys? That's the
Last
one.
Rider Crow and Ambitious Tywin. And he was designed as the first injury unit to
right.
stop that meta. And the moment he came out, essentially Frenzy was changed to favor DPS units, and Knights were, poof, they were gone.
Well, we got Yoha here, still sitting around full health here. Kind of ridiculous.
Oh, what's the matter?
And the resistance, unfortunately, on the curse as well.
Ooh, Abigail now coming up, and Ilyanov, you know, she's hanging on, but
By how much, right?
by how much?
Going for the Gary Z
Absolutely.
push here as well for the full team push.
Yep, going for the soul burn. That soul burn just looks so nice.
It's so cool. It's a proc. It is a low chance proc, but when it procs, looks pretty.
Yep, Ilyanov thinking about what she's gonna do.
For
Drops.
Wintenberg.
Ooh, yep, punish comes out, but
Uh-oh.
proxy Albedo again.
Yeah,
This
here
is a
comes
full
Albedo.
DPS Albedo with the crit. Crits
pop.
as well,
Not
3F. Ooh, and that is the RTA effect. Mitigates 30% of damage when you have elemental advantage, but I
right.
don't think it matters.
You know, the biggest trouble here at the moment as well, again, double Arius means that Yoha is not soaking up any of these big blows, which means she's not winning or going towards her win condition. So it's going to be a slow grind here onto finishing off with the Yoha. But, oh, there we go. Again, she does have a little bit of damage reflection, but they're mainly
Oh,
targeting
wow.
Armin.
That's a cute dual attack as well. I mean, tank versus tank. You got the supportal combat, but
Absolutely.
At this point, the match seems like it's mostly decided.
Looking a little dangerous here, especially with the Crimson Armin going down very soon here. Though it looks like the damage sharing does activate when it's not the target, when the target with the Arius holder is being targeted. Very interesting. 142 on that.
Another
I don't think she can send this now, can she? No souls either. It's a very bad situation right now.
Good redirected provoke on the Albedo, though. Albedo kind of running into a tiny bit of
Here
trouble
comes
there.
Aegis Unfold again, unfortunately critting.
How much turn cycling is she getting? I feel that's the third Vicorn that we've seen.
She does have a CR push on skill 1 and a speed buff when she does use Aegis Unfold. So with nobody to take that away, I'd say it's pretty... Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Big
yep.
hit.
We're looking to put the game away now. Ambitious Tywin goes for the soul burn, but no, it's all tanks and supports.
Oh,
Every
here goes
debuff was resisted. However,
We are going to
Albedo.
get this big push here, and we're going to send one... Oh, I don't think that stun's going to do anything, right?
I do believe Yolha here, if she gets dropped low enough, is just going to fully cleanse herself.
She counters and she cleanses. So even though it looks like it's pretty dire straits right now, she will be sending someone to the cube dimension, which is very funny.
Hey, I can respect that. You know, when you know you're losing a game, but you got one unit left, you're like, hey, if I lose by 3 units versus 4, it doesn't look that bad for me.
All right, we're sending someone off to the cube dimension. Let's see it. Is it Ambitious Tywin? No, it's actually the Abigail.
Yeah, the Abigail. I mean, there's mitigation, and she's a fire unit. You act. Oh, no kill there.
Unfortunate. But hey, we did send him to the cube dimension, so that's all that matters to me. I love that skill 3. It's great.
It is a good move.
You know, surprisingly enough, I think this one went a little bit quicker than one of our previous matches, and it was all knights. So, props to the players here.
Yeah, I think the Albedo here actually putting in so much work. I'm surprised people are asking for buffs on this unit. The Evo comes through.
You can't do that.
Oh, I mean,
what do you do though? A 4v1? Sure. And that's going to be the match.
GG's. Yeah, Yolha gets finally taken out there. And wow.
Oof, we're already through the first 4 matches, I believe. Now that we are in top 4, we will be moving on to...
Oh, wow, okay. So both players now have a chance to, you know, you might get unlucky in some matches, and now you have a mechanism for being able to stabilize your matches.
Absolutely.
If you get unlucky, you got to win 2 to come back.
We'll have to see what happens. I mean, like, for the most part, I do like these longer sets. It lets you recuperate mentally, lets you figure out, okay, what did I do right this match? What did I do wrong? But at the same time, it's like more draft mode, right? And that's what we love to see.
I mean, as somebody who's played some draft mode tournaments myself, all I can say is, thank God for best of 3. God bless.
Definitely is a big savior here. And just much like the Amazon Appstore is a big savior for your purchases as well. Don't forget you can get up to 10% off when purchasing things with Amazon coins. And again, today only, as well as tomorrow actually, today and tomorrow, you will be able to get 5% coins back when using purchases through the Amazon Appstore with Amazon coins. So hey, check the QR code. I think that's everything we've got for right now, isn't that?
Yeah, I'm looking at my phone over there. The moment I'm off, I'm going to the restroom and I'm buying my Burning Passion packs. I still haven't done that today.
All right, all right. Well, I think we're going to be taking a little break here in just a moment here as we get ready for the top 8. Excuse me, the top 4.
Top 4 cut. Yeah, we will be getting. Oh yeah. And then after what we played the semifinals, we'll be getting the 3rd place match as well as the grand finals.
So it's gonna be the 2 matches for top 4, and then the loser of those will play top for 3rd place, and then we'd have our 2nd and 1st place match. So
4 more sets, and you know, anywhere from 2 to 3 times more Epic 7.
Heck yes, heck yes. But stay tuned. Be sure to grab a drink, get up and stretch. We'll be moving around a little bit, and don't go anywhere else though.
It is hot this summer, so make sure you guys hydrate up.
Yep. So we'll see you guys in just a little bit. Stay tuned.
Imagine how you would feel if your family was slaughtered. If the killer was revered as a hero of legend. Wouldn't it be horrifying? The screams of my enemies will be a requiem for the passing of my kin. Their blood will warm the corpse of my brother. I have no use for pride and honor as a warrior. All that remains is a void of emptiness and rage. Until the heart of my final enemy is run through, we won't stop. Will we, Ilian?
당신은 제가 믿을 수 있는 사람입니까? 내 창은 모두를 지키기 위한 창. 나의 긍지를 그리고 나의 동생을. 하지만 달조차 뜨지 않았던 그날 밤 이후 나의 창은 복수를 위한 창이 되었습니다. 드디어 그녀를 찾은 것 같군요. 목숨 하나로 끝내진 않을 겁니다.
제 목숨을 노리는 자가 있다고요? 카룬족의 세실리아. 그래요. 그녀는 그럴 자격이 있죠. 그날 밤 평화를 바라던 저의 영혼대로 전쟁은 끝났습니다. 모두가 저의 빛나는 업적을 찬미하는 노래를 부르죠. 그들이 저에 대해 뭘 안다고? 사실은 중요하지 않아요. 무엇을 진실이라 믿는지가 중요하죠.
드디어 만났군요, 누나.
제게 복수의 창을 드세요.
I'll be the villain I have to be. Time to end our twisted fate.
While hiding her horns and tail with magic, the half-dragon Luna of the Karuns is living among humans, serving as the royal mage of Prince Ervalin of Castamere. With her vast store of mana innate to all dragons, she is adept at casting large-scale spells and possesses the ability to skillfully wield spears conjured by magic. By using a spell to turn dragons into dark magic stones, Luna put a stop to the endless war plaguing the winds and Karuns, and is celebrated as a hero for restoring peace to the world. However, Luna herself feels the title is ill-fitting. You can learn more about her story in the upcoming Moonlight Theater, Days of Piercing Cold. New Moon Luna is a 5-star light elemental mage. She has high health and can increase her health further through her imprint concentration. Skill 3, Moon's Judgment. Using mana dispels all buffs from all enemies before sealing and making them unable to be buffed for 2 turns. At the start of the first battle, grant Skill Effect Nullifier once to the caster. Skill Effect Nullifier is a buff that nullifies effects from skills of enemy heroes and artifacts. When 20 soul is consumed, ignores effect resistance. Skill 2, Demon Sealing Spear. Attacks the enemy by thrusting down a spear, decreasing defense for 1 turn, and increasing combat readiness of the caster by 50%. Damage dealt increases proportional to the caster's max health. A successful attack deals additional damage to all enemies proportional to the caster's max health. Skill 1, Radiant Strike. Attacks the enemy with a spear and increases combat readiness of the caster by up to 20%. Damage dealt increases proportional to the caster's max health.
For the sake of peace, I'll be the villain I have.
A kind-hearted half-dragon with dark secrets. Players will be able to meet New Moon Luna through the Mystic Summon starting July 4th. Thank you.
The fun ends here. Goblet of Oak. Heed my call.
Time to end our twisted fate. For the sake of peace, I'll be the villain I have to be.
It's showtime. Sweet jam. Insects do love flowers. I've been waiting for you.
Try and take it.
I should really pull the weeds.
Tournaments sponsored and presented by Amazon Appstore. Welcome on back. We're here with our top 4. We're about to get ready. Just a moment again. Gimmick, Valky, we're all ready for top 4.
We got to see a whole variety of matches earlier. There were some very fast, aggressive matches, and we got to watch a bunch of characters with shields punch each other in the face. That was a lot of fun.
That was pretty fun, though, right?
That was pretty funny, honestly.
So once again, for the format here, it is now that it's top 4, it is best of 3. That means if you do unfortunately lose your first match, you'll have one more shot to make it big. Again, first person to 2 wins will be able to move on to the bracket. Once that goes, the losers of each match do not go anywhere. We will be having a 3rd place match as well. Then we'll be going into our grand finals, which is also best of 3. I think we have our players all ready to go here. So, ladies and gentlemen, are we ready for top 4? Make some noise!
Woo, let's get it.
All right. Let's get
Locked
it going.
in. Let's
Right
send it.
away, we have Hoove versus Phantom Dash.
Oh, yeah. We saw both players actually come through huge in their earlier matchups. And here, ooh, this is a precarious position for the first pick. And the reason why I say that, well, you know, we'll reveal that in a second, but
We'll see. We'll see. Depending on the picks, again, we want to make sure that we're giving as much time for these players to think and not stare at the screen.
oh yeah, and because there's so many hard and soft counters to the left and to the right.
Oh yeah.
I think to some degree or another, almost all of these characters on both sides either counter each other or get countered.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're going with the Blood Moon Haste and the Naqual, 2 very solid opening picks. I love using Naqual against Blood Moon Haste because that seal really helps seal the deal, prevent the passage from going. Big stuff. And
I mean, the bind is nothing to scoff at either, right? You disable all counter attacks, and on top of that, all of the off-turn animations, right? Like the Elena. What? Is that a second pick, Dragon Bride Senya?
I think my wife is, you know.
I mean, I'm happy for you, bro, but what is she doing in second pick? That unit is as strong, if not stronger, than the Blood Moon Haze, and to see her second pick, ooh, I just think Hoove is at such a leg up right now, especially even with a Naqual to his name.
Absolutely. And we are rushing into the 3rd pick here. We got Mort and Assassin Sid. Kind of some interesting picks here on Phantom Dash's side. Very aggressive, but at the same time kind of pulling back, especially with that Lethe, right?
Phantom getting the Assassin Sid, he wants to secure his first turn at the very least. That way, no matter what, he can play a little bit aggressively. If you think about it this way, Assassin Sid is basically the old version of Zio, where instead of just silencing a character, he actually is strong enough to knock out most squishy characters.
He's
in the
like,
game.
you know, I don't need to worry about pushing him back, especially if they just explode, right? That's no problem. We have some changes here. I do see a lineup for something that I might like to see here, but we have a lot of different interesting options here for both sides. What is right side going to have to do in order to round out this draft?
Ooh, I think right side might want something that's a little bit more of a hard carry. You have a lot of damage, you have the Assassin Sid, you have the haste, but you need something that can both survive and hit hard, and that Shu is exactly it. However, into the Mort, it's a little bit dangerous.
That's going to be a little troublesome. I will say that the Blood Moon Haste will be able to stand their own ground and do one big hit, but aside from that, after that, their momentum's kind of gone, right? So we got to be very careful about what our last pick is here.
Shu, I mean, no matter what, you cannot count her out.
Oh, yeah.
Always has the potential counterattack push, She, in some ways, was the original Navy Captain Landy. Always has a chance to just steal the game back. But Solitaria, insanely strong pick here, able to eliminate all focus for the Shu and pepper down Phantom with all of her debuffs. And especially if that is the injury variant too, that is going to do.
Injury variant. You're right.
There's 3 HP scaling character for Phantom side.
Very dangerous.
I mean, look, if there's anything about HP scaling characters, you do not want them to get injured.
Interesting going for the Lethe ban Hoove here against Phantom Dash, but Dragon Bride Senya will be banned out, so we've got a pretty interesting match here from both sides. Stenny's going to be a little hard to hit, but it's going to get one big hit from Mort, and then Solitaria might be able to chip him down. Actually, didn't we see which build this Spectre Tenebria is on?
I actually just missed it because I was so focused on the Solitaria.
Okay, I do see Tiger Hell's Ancient Book, so I think it's the standard build, but imagine if that was the chatty build, right?
The thing that stands out to me right now is the fact that Solitaria, even though she is a stealth character, turn 1, no stealth, Assassin Sid has a chance to kill her, but is protected by Troublemaker Crozet. We are going to burn
the Mort.
No, yeah, we're going for the Mort.
Big hit.
Big hit, silence,
and
defense break,
back.
which means we are getting anti-crit up for all of whose side.
Ladies and gentlemen, it might just be morning time.
I mean, morning time or not, the big turn is here.
Yep.
We want the Knockwall to go, and now suddenly...
Oh! No push, though.
That's a little bit unlucky, I'd say.
Unfortunate. However, I will say that Shu being protected by that barrier will prevent a little bit of injury going on down the line.
Yeah, the reason, you know, even though who did take out a unit essentially for free, the reason why it's unlucky is it did activate Blood Moon Haze passive. Now all of his units will be having a 2-turn barrier and immunity buff. And I mean, look at that barrier. It's thick.
That's a huge barrier. And Naqual is also exposed here. This might be very, very dangerous here for Hoove.
Yeah, if Naqual goes down, I think that's all of the control and most of the advantage that he's ever going to have available to him. Troublemaker Crozet boosts the Mort. We're going to free him from his cooldowns. We want him to start dropping those injuries as well.
Absolutely. Let's see what this is going to be built on here. Can't remember what the artifact choice is with the injury build. I think it still might be Fairy Tale for a Nightmare, but going into the Floosh. See it here. Nothing pulled off. A little bit of damage on the Spectre Tenebria, but she's still holding on just fine.
I'm not seeing any injury on the Spectre Tenebria. This might just be a regular build, so that's the saving grace. Shu might be getting those counterattacks and flushes off, but she will not get the reset or the extra penetration on that
Pulls off
shield.
that defense buff, and that huge heal keeps the momentum back in Phantom Dash's favor.
Anti-crit doesn't matter if I don't have to crit you for the true damage. Mort now says, uh-oh, I gotta
guns
transform. Drops his big stinking feet on the enemy team.
Oh my god, so much damage, especially with the symbol of unity.
Oh, Spectre Tenebria is in a little bit of a trouble here, but no
Little
matter
pickle.
what, you should be able to pick off that Naqual with this S3.
Yep, big pick here.
Yes, Nightmare comes through. Do we get any pushbacks as well?
No pushbacks.
That's kind of unfortunate.
Unfortunate, but there's still a lot of momentum here in Phantom Dash's favor because Blood Moon Haze still has their buff up here and can take out one pivotal character to bring back their team.
And Blood Moon Haze does have that blood aura, and you know he was reset by the Knockwall, which means on the next turn he will be able to drop that scythe down on somebody, and if that takes him out,
Counterattack.
he's reviving his entire team.
Let's see what this does here. Any stuns? No stuns, but no counterattack because of the bind debuff.
Oh wow, what a value bind.
Actually, huge value. Unfortunately, not being able to get the seal. Oh, dual attack for fun. Here comes Mort, and here comes Shu.
Okay, no flush.
No flush.
I mean, wow. Whenever Shu's ultimate is on cooldown, she's going to have the same effect as essentially an Elbrus
Double
Ritual
counter.
Sword.
Here comes
And
Shu
oh
again.
my god, speaking of Elbrus Ritual Sword, she is popping off. No flush yet.
No, she's like, you know what? I want to save the big reveal for when I make it a huge win for me. So she's holding off for now.
Do you want to do that? Maybe you want to pop off, little sis.
Maybe.
Yeah, and you know, we want her to pop off, but no,
So the question is,
no
okay,
crit there.
we are going for the skill 3 here with the Blood Moon Haze against the Lord. That's going to be some big damage with that Blood Aura. Does take her out.
18,000 damage, brings back the Assassin Sid as well. Now, no matter what, Assassin Sid is going to be dropping a lot of damage as well. Spectre Tenebria goes for the Soul Burn, hitting 2 targets. And now hits again.
Big
That's
damage.
so much damage coming through.
That Troublemaker Crozet is causing a lot of trouble here. Not able to do anything else here.
I see what you did.
Yeah, you see what I did there, right?
Oh, he's doing his job, I guess.
Yeah, he's being very, very troublesome. I find it really funny that Troublemaker Crozet and Crozet are just not the same guy. Like they're in the same universe. It's just a guy who looks like Crozet, and he's just fooling around. It's great.
Oh, this is really dangerous, actually.
Oh, this is actually really bad
Solitaria,
here.
you know, we were saying that she wasn't in a good spot, but now stuns the Shu. Fairy Tale for a Nightmare takes out 2 targets.
This is not over just yet.
Does not strip. That strip was resisted. So Haze once again being held down. If, and I mean seriously, if Troublemaker Crozet can tank it down, he is the last bastion protecting the princess in the back.
Absolutely.
And if he can do that,
Big stun.
I think Solitaria might actually be able to steal this game out from Phantom Dash's nose.
We'll have to see what happens here. Another push. No counter.
Hey, blind as well. I mean, from this spot, 2v2.
A double
on the
stun!
last link.
Phantom Dash is getting locked down left and right here.
Got a soul as well. Do you burn that? Do you save that for your Sully? What's your play?
What is the hold here? One more here. He's going to hold on until the bitter end, as he always says. Granting that defense buff, anti-crit, every single buff you might need in your itinerary.
Drops the S3, and now Solitaria just taking her time casually. Oh, we're going to drop the S3 as well. And this is going to stun and send somebody back on the combat readiness bar.
Yeah, there goes Shu. We are in Frenzy 3 now, it looks like. Yep, so even though she's not a big damage dealer, she is going to be chipping more and more away at their opponents here, especially with that extra fixed damage.
Yep, the damage is fixed, but as the Frenzy ramps up, character's max HP goes down, so it's only going to get better with time, making Solitaria one of the best stall characters in the game. We stunned that Shu again. That is most of Phantom Dash's damage, but a counterattack comes through.
It does not... Oh, she resists with the strip!
Oh my goodness, that is a resistant Solitaria. This is one of the few matchups where she's the better build.
And Shu taking another stun for, you know, for fun.
Be my next
Yep,
meal?
just you know, you're not playing Epic 7 anymore. I am.
No, still not able to take off that debuff or that buff off of the Troublemaker Crozet. Unfortunately, cannot trigger.
Oh,
that healing would be very, very pivotal right now, but unfortunately, it's not enough.
Solitaria here, I mean, she did good work so far, but you got to keep doing that good work.
Unbuffable
here. The end of the match. I mean, unbuffable on haste, super important.
Super duper important, absolutely. If by accident the shoot does go out and his blood aura is reactivated, he won't be able to.
Oh, resistance! That's a little bit greedy. We know the Blood Moon Haze has a little bit of effect resistance.
I think Shu has her skill 3 here as well. Might be able to expose the Solitaria.
If you can expose a Solitaria here and Haze has cooldowns, that might be a game.
This might be the game here. No, just only uses push.
Oh, that is a crit,
that is
though.
Big damage.
Oh, but suddenly, you know, she is revealed either way. We're dropping the S3. That's going to be a lot of damage. Probably about 8,000.
It's not enough.
Oh, just misses it. Now Solly has to stun literally everything. Okay,
hold,
extra attack.
Hold. Not enough.
Oh, man.
And that's it.
Top right
game
comes out.
1. Remember, that's only game 1. We still have upwards of one more match still for this set.
GG comes out from who? Phantom Dash takes that first match.
What a way to start off top 4, right? All right, when they're ready up, we'll get into our next match. 3, 2, 1, let's get right back into it.
Wow, both players are taking no time to think about what they need to do for next match, going right back into it. And wow, we are seeing a what is this first pick?
I don't know. I gotta say that last match was so down to the wire. I forgot it was a best of 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we have big damage versus big damage.
Yeah, I mean, you got the most aggressive character in the game versus one of, if not the most defensive
Hey, look,
character.
there she is again.
Oh my god. I think it's almost criminal Dragon Bride Senya is being offered as a second pick.
Here comes Shu again, and looks like Phantom believes in the Shu once more.
I mean, look, you already got one Navy Captain Landy. Let's just grab Navy Captain Landy's little sister.
Uh-oh. Things are looking a little dangerous here. You see what I'm seeing?
Okay, what are you seeing?
I'm seeing a certain character that might do very well for one of the teammates. Or one of the players here. Just saying.
Oh, you're looking at bottom left.
Perhaps.
Yeah, you know, as a big enjoyer of that character.
Oh,
he re-rolls it.
Very interesting.
Wow, okay.
Maybe wants to slow it down a little bit.
You know,
never mind.
Whoa, okay. I was gonna say, taking Fairy Tail Tenebri here gives him a lot of control over his turn 2 opponent.
Absolutely.
But you know, that was like millimeters away from having to fight against an Infinite Horizon Acades, which is one of the worst matchups for her.
I mean, like, that debuff flip is so good. And I got Midnight Gala and a Troublemaker Crozet here. Anti-crit's not going to do much against that, unfortunately, because she is a forceful crit character.
Hey, Troublemaker Crozet, look.
Hey,
last game he did a lot of work.
So much last
this
game.
Time Phantom Dash's like, hey, my turn to play this character.
That's mine now. Yoink.
And, you know, speaking of last game, you know what I see?
I'm seeing one more. Maybe they want to give it another shot. Again, Phantom Dash is believing in Shu once again. Will Hoove believe in this character? We'll have to see.
I actually think Hoove doesn't go for it. Hoove's team is so consistent.
Highly aggressive here, yeah.
It's extremely aggressive. I mean, you just pick one more aggressive character and round out a draft. Suddenly, you're playing aggro.
True that.
Why not?
Why not? Well, we still have 20 seconds on the clock here. Waiting to see what these choices are being made here from our two players. Whew, man.
Now, what would you do here if you were okay?
Oh,
there it is.
Yeah, very good counter pick there.
there it is. Bunny Dom comes out,
who do they
counters
take out?
extra turns, and you know both of the aggression engines for Who's side, the Ran and the top model Luluka,
Absolutely.
have extra turns built in. So I'm sure he's thinking along those lines. But good aggressive players will just be able to outplay that. So let's see if that's a pick that gets paid off,
We'll have to
or
see.
does it just get banned right here?
You're right. So bans being made here, last picks. It looks like, okay, the Navy Captain Landy ban and the Midnight Gala Lilius ban. You know, I feel like for me, in my perspective here, I feel like you would have gone for the Dragon Bride Senya ban because everyone else is super squishy. But, you know, we'll have to see how this match plays out.
Dragon Brysenia, just oh my god.
Here
I
she
think
comes walking down the aisle.
she just does so much damage. And you know she's way too tanky, so you're not really bursting her down that well. And when she's activated, she don't care about debuffs either.
Yep,
so
she's just like, halt. Another halt character.
stop.
All right,
In the
Red
name
going
of the
for
law.
the skill 3 here. For skill 2,
How should we put
beat
him?
on flow control.
Yeah, we do like that beat on passive, but Ran is a character that's going to be able to strip everything, especially if he drops his Soul Burn here. Soul Burn's going to come through, misses on the Zahak. That is huge, but defense
Counter?
breaks on
All right, gets the
3
skill null off.
targets.
That looks very dangerous.
Top model Luluka now, finally, this is a game where she shines, going
Yep.
to be able to buff
Team
up her
attack buff
team.
and that big barrier.
Yeah, you got your pick of the litter here.
Who
you
are we
can-
saying goodbye to?
I mean, you can run it on realistically anything here. Defense break is the best, and I mean by far the best damage amplifier in the game.
Goes to Soul Burn, extra attack,
That's so much damage.
bonus against the shoe here.
I mean, it's a bit of a gamble here, but if you take
Not
her
enough.
out, oh yeah. But you know what? The Fairy Tale Tenebria, even though she's not a damage character, on
We'll be
this
able to
little
pick him out.
HP, she might just be enough.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be enough to take out the shoe and a stun and a counter.
Counter does comes through. Yeah.
Or not a counter too, that was a redirected provoke actually.
Oh, yeah.
Not looking great here for Phantom Dash's side.
And I think that might be it.
I think that's a clean wash here for this game too. Again, welcome to the Soul Burn for fun too.
Dragon Bride Senya, 35k and a half HP, drops it on the Zahak.
10K.
Poor boy.
Not bad, not bad. Especially when that's an AoE. Ooh boy.
I mean, all the defensive stats in the world is not going to save you there.
Absolutely, absolutely. I believe that might be rounding us up to game 3.
Yep, that should be sending us into
All
a
right,
game
let's
3.
get right into it. Game 3, top 4. Let's get it.
Wow, these guys are not pausing at all.
No, we're
trading
like, we
right
go,
back
we
into-
move. Next match, next
Go,
match.
go,
We're
go,
going.
go, go.
Go,
We're
go,
hitting
go,
the ground
go.
running every time. Oh my.
All right, let's see here. You were saying about somehow these heroes are, very, very well built. How well do you think these heroes here are built? Because I do see the MLDB here, which probably means this is actually, I do think it's hard to see which set's being built on for these ones here, especially on the side. All right, we
Oh,
have,
that's interesting.
yeah, double health set here.
I
as it
saw
says.
some really high tier characters like the Laya, Navy Captain Landy, Abyssal Euthine as well. But
Absolutely.
none of those got picked up. We got the Arrowell, which in general is a very strong, if not extremely strong mitigator. She blocks out so much damage, but
Absolutely.
versus a Payra, that is a little bit rough. Payra, as you know, she takes down buff counts.
Oh, yeah.
And applies unbuffable, just blocks buffs for days.
Yep, very, very dangerous buffs, or debuffs, excuse me, get the opponent. Very, very hard to unless you have a very good cleanser. Ooh, going for the Blooming Lidica.
Wow, okay. I was thinking, right? The Payra wasn't that strong in this spot until you get the Blooming Lidica, until you get these combo pieces.
It's very true.
Suddenly, Blooming Lidica looking like a very real threat.
So what's the pick going to be after here? Again, we have a lot of picks that we've seen in earlier matches, but are they going to be here pivotal for their setups here? Especially because it looks like Hoove is going for a much more aggressive draft, while Phantom Dash, that Landy there is actually the Bloodstone counter one. So it looks like they're trying to look to batten down the hatches a little bit, play a little slower, play a little tankier, but maybe we'll be able to outlive this first wave of attacks.
Oh, there it is, the Arbiter Vildred.
Ooh,
I
on
do
Alexis
believe
basket.
This is the first one of the stream. This is the extremely aggressive version, the OG RB build, if you're familiar with that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I actually think that is the best build here because it does look like Hoove is playing a half cleat, half control playstyle where you're just overwhelming your opponent with your turn 1 and your debuffs. And, when RB dies, he comes back, cleanses everything, and drops a lot
right.
of damage against the opponent.
So we have the Sage Ball and Sezon as a last hope against that Payra, especially if he does not get restricted. It'll be a huge help in stuffing out the opponent.
Yeah, that last pick, Briar Witch, is deadly.
Yeah,
you
very,
have to
very
ban
potent.
that. You can't let that through. Arbiter Vildred is
Yeah.
begging, please ban that thing, ban that thing, get her out of here, begging.
Remove them. All right,
Yep.
so we have a handshake ban here, and we're gonna have a pretty interesting match here, especially with that aggressive Arbiter Vildred. It's gonna be pretty interesting to see how this plays out. Game 3, first set of top 4. Pair taking that first turn with absolute confidence.
And this is going to be the decider. Whoever wins this one will move on to the grand finals.
We do have 2 green units here. One of them does get hit, unfortunately.
That's enough to proc the Blooming Lidica.
Yep. That Landy is pretty darn tanky, though. So we're gonna go for the escort buff, as you might expect.
Sends everything back. The escort is one thing, but the attack buff when you're being this aggressive, that's something else entirely.
Absolutely.
Silverblade Amethyst, it's time to rain it down.
She can't take this anymore. She's gonna send out that big meteor, big damage. Immunity's still stuck on that landing.
You know, really interesting here. Number 1, Landy hasn't countered a single time, and number 2, Alencia seems to have resisted everything.
You might be thinking about the other landing. That's probably why you're thinking it didn't counter as much.
I wish you could.
I mean, this is a Bloodstone counter landing, right? You gotta do something.
I agree. Big damage there coming out for against the. Oh, we're just going right to the next big hit here. Landing gonna get taken out here. I don't think that's enough, actually.
Very big turn.
Okay.
That's definitely without escort. Whoa!
He got hit by the burns. He's gonna have to do this anyways, right? Getting those skill nullifiers off, and it's up to these 3 heroes to make him stand here.
You know, it was very unfortunate that Blooming Lidica put up 4 skill nullifiers on the entire team.
I know, right?
If the Arbiter Vildred was just a little bit slower and Alencia got to do this first, and she stripped all the buffs, that Arbiter Vildred would have made a huge difference.
We got a nice death buff on the RB though. It's not over yet.
I mean, it's not like a, you know, the tanky RB, right? This is the squishy one. So
There comes RB for fun.
Oh!
Ouch.
The blind that RB put down is saving his life, but I don't know if even with that, I don't think he makes it to his next turn.
That was an RNL into a dual attack. Very devastating stuff. And the stun. Unfortunate.
Ooh, and that's exactly what we're talking about. The Alencia and the Arbiter Vildred was just so close to being perfectly synergizing with each other. And that's the type of thing you really have to be aware of when you're drafting your units and when you're putting that team together. Bonk.
Bonk. I love that skill one. But seriously, a lot of momentum here. If Alencia can survive just a little bit longer, she does have that skill one that deals some pretty devastating damage, but does need. Oh, here we go again.
Wow, Soulburn comes out in the Silverblade Araminta.
Oh, and the double proc, another stun. Ooh! Wow. Getting locked down here. And another 2 turns of unbuffable too. That is dangerous. Another stun for fun, why not? Unfortunately, Alencia is dependent on that buff, and there we go. Our
GG
first
comes
match.
out.
GG's.
Who takes it? He will be moving on to the grand finals, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they will.
Phantom Dash moving out to the 3rd place match.
Yes, so we'll be having our second half of our qualifiers for grand finals, and then we'll have Phantom Dash and whoever unfortunately loses this next match as our 3rd place qualifier. How are we feeling today, guys? Having a good time with this matches?
Yeah, woo!
All right. That's what we like to hear. We're getting our next matches set up right away. Be patient with us for just a moment.
Oh man, I mean, when you are building your team, you're putting your units together, you really got to think about your speed tuning, right?
Absolutely.
And that's one of those cases where if Alencia was just a little bit faster, Arbiter Vildred a little bit slower, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, I know everybody loves speed, but faster isn't necessarily always better. That's
very true.
The right amount of speed and just having that speed do the right job for you, making that work for you is key to being a great Epic 7 player, right?
Right,
You know, as they say, it separates the good players from the great ones.
Absolutely. When I was first learning how to play Epic 7, in RTA at least, I had just gotten Mediated Queric, my Savior Adam build. So happy I threw in as much gear as I could. My Savior Adam was like 230, and my Mediated Queric was like 210. And I was like,
oh no,
this doesn't work right? Like I have to, that's why you gotta make sure your turn order, I think, what do they call it? They call it something like speed tuning, right?
Speed tuning, yep.
Your speed tuning has to be absolutely on point if you want to make sure your team just flows properly. And the big thing, especially for the top players, they have their whole roster speed tuned, and that's crazy to me.
That's me.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah, I mean, look. To put it very simply, even for a new player, right? When you're doing your Wyvern 13,
yeah,
that's why you defense break first, right? You attack buff after,
absolutely,
and then all of your damage comes through, right?
Right, absolutely.
And that's not just for PvP or PvE as well, right?
Yeah.
You want to be able to build your units like that in constructed ranked RTA, and in draft mode, you got to stay very cognizant of these speed thresholds and be able to pick your units around that.
All right, looks like we're getting into our next match here. Let's get it rolling for our second half of top 4.
We gotta see these guys pull out some mean drafts.
We
We got
got-
Vic Chung versus
Ooh,
the Captain.
The Captain. You think they're gonna choose a certain? They're not here. Dang, that'd be really cool, right? To see if a certain Captain character came out and it was like, this is my draft. I am leading it now.
The Captain versus Beast Mode. Who's going to take it?
Beast mode. we love all of our content creator here, all of our players here, but Vic Chun definitely known for going beast mode, for locking in, right?
Locking it in, yep.
I'm surprised he didn't bring his helmet today. I feel like that's to be a little hard to get through security.
Yeah, you know. I mean, he's coming down from Canada, right?
True.
So you gotta imagine, right? You're going through Canadian customs.
Oh, yeah.
Sir, you're going to California. Why are you bringing a ski helmet?
I'm locking in.
I'm locking it.
And the guy will look at it and go, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Understandable, sir. Have a nice day.
See ya. No random searches, nothing. Just he understands.
And this, honestly, a lot more methodical of a draft. Both players taking 45 seconds to kind of think through their picks.
You do have a lot of time to make your picks here, so it is smart to value your options. Especially what you have on screen is what your opponent will not, right? When you get a character chosen out of your pool, they will not be able to see that. Your opponent will not be able to see that in their pool. So you got to know about your options and the options that you will and won't have.
The Captain uses his reroll on that second rotation. I wonder if he's looking for a specific character on that second rotation.
Maybe.
Or maybe he's looking for something. Wow, Vic
Whoa.
uses his second reroll as well. That is probably the earliest we've seen both players drop their rerolls.
Very interesting here. I don't know what Vic Chun's going to go here. I think I have an inkling of what he might choose here, especially given the pace he's set with his character. But it's going to be hard to see if they're going to be able to get past this Naqual.
Okay.
Going for the Shuna.
Yep, Shuna is exactly what I expected him with the Knockwall. And now, especially that you're playing tank down, you're playing slow, right? Because the moment you have a knight, knights are the hardest character to pivot aggressively.
Absolutely.
When you do have a tank, you're basically buying a wedding ring for that slow playstyle.
It's very true. It's like, hey, I'd like to lock into this right now. Interesting picks here. Again, both players have used their rerolls. The Elvira coming out to stop that Lone Crescent Bologna from building any fighting spirit and lashing back with those big counterattacks. And we got the Kayron on the other side, who's been showing up quite a bit in these matches here.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's exactly what we want. When your opponent goes anything that needs fighting spirit to work, like the Bologna,
right?
Elvira's like, hey,
I'm here. Hey, don't forget about me. Sea Phantom Politis might have something special, but hey, I fully block it. So you take out Abyssal Euphine, Navy Captain Landy, Lone Crescent Bologna, some big contenders on Fighting Spirit. And don't forget about characters also like Ravi and Apocalypse Ravi, right? They start off with no juice in the tank. Which
and,
can be very
speaking of
devastating.
big contender, I'm thinking,
look at the big guy! And in God we trust too.
I was really hoping to see the Violet mirror match.
Let's go. Violet v Violet would have been really funny. But hey, we had Eaton Gaming too. So
Eaton comes out here.
I think the Captain is noticing maybe a particular band choice that their opponent's going to go for here. But we'll have to see with these last picks, some pretty devastating stuff here.
Yeah, I mean, the Captain was the one we saw playing, 3.5 nights, right, essentially? And we know Vic to be a very proficient tank down player. In fact, he was very close to top 100 last season.
Really?
Being slow and tanky. So I'm sure he knows exactly what he's doing with this matchup. He needs one more DPS unit to fully flesh out his team composition. And I mean, I see choice of 3 for him to go towards.
Yep.
Meanwhile, the Captain, I think he wants a utility character here, maybe a
to
support.
round out that draft,
and there's 2 for him. So both players are looking like they're getting a very complete draft. Nobody really getting left behind.
And we got the Bellion and the Urban Shadow Shield. This is counter Bellion too, which means that she's going to be dangerous regardless if you hit her or not.
Ooh, okay.
These are going to be some interesting bans. I feel like I have an inkling of where they're going to go. Vic Chun making his ban. The Captain's still waiting for a second. Still got 15 seconds on the board here. Let's see what it's going to make here.
I'm guessing that Knockwall is gone. I mean, no competent tank down players letting your opponent run a monk all over you.
Yep. Ryland's gone.
Is gone.
Having to rely on this Urban Shadow Shoe is going to be real interesting.
I'm actually a little bit surprised the Rylet got banned as opposed to the Elvira.
Right, because he gets hit once and it's like, okay, we go next. But we'll have to see what happens.
Like I said,
Going into the match.
Urban Shadow Shoe up first here. Who are they going to start picking away with the injury?
I mean, Urban Shadow Shu is a very strong tempo character, right? She goes fast and she maintains this tempo. Almost like a very fast music beat if you think about it that way.
And don't forget, she also enables speed buff too. Very, very important if they want to start cycling turns. Again, what we thought was first a tanky team is now speeding by.
Yeah, and you know, here's the thing. Shu is extremely good at beating up these slower teams. However, when the Eden is here, he's providing a barrier. That barrier will block the special bzz damage, right?
Right.
She deals, what, 2,500 fixed damage to
About
the entire
2,000 fixed, yeah.
2,000, right? And that is damage you cannot heal back. And barrier is what really messes with that the most. Elvira goes for the kick, kicks into the Bellion, lands the defense break unhealable, and it almost feels like Vic is really just posturing himself to be in a winning position. This K-Ron might actually have to hold it down once again.
Once more, right? We saw it earlier in the matches. Can he do it twice? We'll have to see that. But we have a lot of tankiness, especially already skipping these first few turns saying, hey, I kind of just don't want to be touched right now. Do you mind just like giving me a second to breathe? That'd be great, thanks.
And if you look at the combat readiness bar, it's extremely favorable for Vic.
Good
His
tuning.
entire team it went, right? And now it looks like the captain needs to just let units almost pass their turn. A bit unfortunate, right? The speed buff from the Shu actually interfering with the invincibility.
Right.
Because when you have an invincibility, it's actually best that you go as slow as possible.
You're right about that, right? You want to hold on to that buff as long as possible. Let your opponents kind of take things through. But that counterattack coming from the Bellion, let's see what's going on
Like
here.
you said, it is a counter Bellion, so she's going to just be hitting if she hits at all.
That was some pretty nice damage there. Being able to put on the Beguile buff, or debuff, is also great for busting tanks.
Ooh, that's a bit of a surprise. K-Ron's gonna come out the gate, drops the S3 onto the Urban Shadow Shu. About 9,500 damage comes through, gives himself attack buff,
And the
sets
proc.
himself up. Ooh.
That's some pretty big damage. Now putting some pretty hefty pressure here on Vic Chun's side, but looks like Urban Shadow Shu will be able to skill 3, heal up, and deal a devastating pop from all the injury. Let's see who they hit. They go for Bellion here, just wiping them out early.
Rat Squad comes out, we're dropping in the cannon. Ooh,
Big
10,000
pop.
damage, and we're bopping a little bit extra on all of the captain's
All right,
characters.
Eden's still alive and healthy, 31k health here. Let's see what they decide to go for. They go for the cleanse and the big barrier, now able to provide a lot more damage sharing.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the issue with Eden as a tank. He does nothing, but he's a big HP battery.
I mean, you hear his voice line, right? You fight, I counter. Right? He's just there to stand there.
I don't know if he counters. He's more like, you fight, I chill.
I rock.
I chill.
I'm a rock.
He's really just here to relax while his team lays the damage down. But with the Elvira here, Lone Crescent Bologna not going to be able to do too much, especially with the provokes coming through.
Absolutely.
Can't even drop that ultimate, get the single target nuking damage in. So this is really just all up to the K-Ron.
And because Bellion was in the fight earlier, no souls can be generated here. Elvira is sitting here like a sitting duck. She will be able to proc this Beguile one more time, but this might be a little dangerous. Oh, and K-Ron got debuffed.
K-Ron got debuffed. Oh, that's a bit dangerous.
That's a
but
little scary.
I will tell you what, though, if it's any time for the captain to make a comeback, it is now that Lone Crescent Bologna has just a little bit of HP left. If you can pick off this Elvira, which is going to be incredibly difficult.
Oh, the Beguile, though!
Oh, that Beguile did.
Just enough. Now we're handing all of the favors to K-Ron to see if they can take this last fight.
Ooh, okay, well, Vic Chung is looking at it, evaluating his options right now. We're summoning the Rat Squad again, blasting out the
Counterattack.
K-Ron. Yep, that does proc the counter.
Some pretty big damage, but he's so far back in line that I think that Elvira might actually be able to come and take a turn before they can actually put on that buff.
Yeah, if Elvira puts on her 3-turn immortality, she is absolutely going to outlast
Shuna
this
trying to
K-Ron
say
with the
goodnight
1
here.
turn.
Trying to end this match early. No! Triple resist.
Resistance on the K-Ron is real. It's coming through.
Oh, it's here again.
Elvira kicks him up in the air. I can't tell if he's evaded. Ooh, does that
It
strip?
does miss. Counterattack.
Counterattack, but I do think Vic has secured his victory. He's just taking a victory lap now, especially if this K-Ron gets a turn and gets that immortality dropped.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that's enough. Maybe going for the Soul Burn here for just a little bit of extra healing with a double proc on Shuna. Yep. A little dangerous here, though, because that will be doing some big damage, whittling away at the Proof of Valor as well.
Oh, wow.
This is dangerous. The thing is, I don't know if there's really much to say here, given that Elvira is going to be... the provoke!
Wow.
That's huge! Not enough, but I think that spells curtains, unfortunately, unless
I mean, that's okay. So there's one way the captain has out. This needs to kill every character.
Almost.
This is where you got to give him an NT.
NT, right? That was a really good first match there, though. Vicchun up 1-0 here. Again, best of 3. We're not done just yet. We'll see if they take a moment to think, or if they're ready to go into the match right away. What a good start to this match, too. Like, seriously, down to the wire, that provoke was so clutch, that beguile was so clutch, right? Being able to take
absolutely.
out Low Crescent Bologna at the last footing she had.
I mean, if you really think about it, right, that's exactly what happens when tank down players play.
Right.
They need to play slow, methodical, and each win needs to just be on a razor's edge because they want to play it safe and calculated.
Very calculated, right. Let's get into our second match here. Vicchun versus Le Captain.
Yeah, I really want to see if these guys are going to just keep calculating this and keep edging out their opponent.
Yeah, we'll have to see here. We got some very solid picks as always here. And it looks like the favor is back into Captain's hands a little bit here. But I think Vicchun has a lot of familiarity with what they've got on the board here, too.
I think the captain unequivocally is just so far ahead in terms of his first pick options. I mean, you could probably just play dartboard.
Interesting. After that very tanky pick, Vicchun decides to go aggressive.
Okay, wow. The Ahmed is a really interesting choice. She can enable essentially any DPS unit.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of what we can see here as well, there might be a certain unit that can be easily enabled as well. I don't know what the build is here, unfortunately. We'll have to wait and see.
I think it's high effectiveness.
Potentially. Ooh, okay, backing out for a second.
Yeah, the captain is sticking to his guns. We are going to go for that. I mean, oh god, how do you play with that?
That's tough. I honestly, that last pick, I was kind of hoping to see the Ahmed go into the Little Queen Charlotte, honestly. Being able to just put that crit damage buff, huge push, right? Just obliterate a dark unit. And that would have been a big advantage for Vicchun there. But decided to go with False Cecilia instead.
I almost feel like these guys kind of have each other's units, you know? Like, Vicchun is trying to play aggressively, but he's getting these very strong defensive cleanse units.
Absolutely.
The captain is trying to play very tanky, but he's getting more of these debuff, aggressive, faster units.
Right.
And oh man, if the units were swapped, I think we definitely see a great match on our hands. But this type of match is exactly where skill comes out in draft mode.
It is part and parcel with draft mode. Like sometimes you just don't get a hand that you want to be played here. Going for the interesting
Designer Lullaby. So 2 AoE characters comes out for Vicchun, and that actually plays exactly into the General Purgus. Are you familiar with what he does?
Yeah, so General Purgus, I think, is pretty interesting, because he used to be like the standard for Wyvern tanks, right?
Do you remember the Golden Boys era?
I do remember.
He was their dog.
He was there.
Yeah, it was Golden Boys and their dog when you had the full team.
That's right. So being able to push up when he's getting hit, super dangerous. You know, usually known for the Zeo Trap play style, where you kind of just stealth around allies or undesirable allies for Zeo to hit into. Interesting picks here.
That's an interesting unit.
Certainly is.
Yeah, I think both.
Oh, and he goes for it.
Okay.
Sasuga and some. Oh,
wow,
do we have to round out the pick here too?
Yeah, I mean, for those of you guys that aren't familiar what Ainz does, he just puts a death sentence debuff down on any character of his choosing.
Your life ends 12 turns from now, as he stands there, holding a mallet over his head, ready to deal 50,000 fixed damage.
Yeah, the only thing he's got to do is stay alive, and you know, I'm not gonna say the other thing, but
well, you know.
Yeah, you know. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, you know.
We're gonna do our best here. Interesting picks here. There's a lot of good options here for both sides. It's gonna be hard to see what they might choose though.
I think the captain, no matter what, definitely feels like he's in the comfortable spot, has a lot of options he likes, and wow, like if you want to just have consistency, you can pick middle. If you want to be able to counter, for example, the Ahmed, you can pick left. There's just options for days for him.
Especially with an Abyssal Crown too. I have seen many such cases where an Abyssal Crown Politis manages to stun Ahmed out of her second pit, or out of her second turn. Very interesting. Double counter unit, Biblis. Very good choice against counterattack units. But who will they choose out of here? Do we stuff out momentum here from
I think the biggest problem here is the Ray is a big issue, but
Yeah.
so is the Haste. So
Ray and Haste
who
are
is the
definitely big
bigger
choices here.
issue? And I think with the designer Lilibet, you might just want to knock out the Haste and,
Yeah.
and gamble through the Ray. But what if he bans the designer? Then what?
Oh no, we have a ban on the Haste and the Biblis instead. So it's going to be a pretty interesting match here to see how this turns out. Because again, even though Einzel Gown does take more damage from Light Heroes, I don't think General Perkins is that much of a damage dealer.
I personally quite like General Perkins' damage, but you know, on top of all of that, you got the Ray, you got the Arya.
That's true. You
Those
got
are
a lot
all
of
going to
options
be
here.
constant threats, especially if Arya on her own turn
Oh,
can
yeah.
get the extra attack out, right?
That's true.
It'll be 6 stacks of Venom detonated.
Whoa! That's going to be dangerous. Going to the Oven, I assume? No, resist it! And Einzel Gown also proccing the Overlord of
What
Death.
cannot be avoided must be overcome.
Wow, I mean, Vic has this one chance to kind of get above
AoE
the
skill
captain
nulls here.
You might regret
Who are they going to push up here? I wonder.
the power
Yep, we're going to be dropping the S3 down.
will revitalize the fallen.
This is going
Going
to be
for swift attack on Einzel Gown.
Wait, that's a tag. He's not using it for the damage. He's using it for the swift attack buff. That's
So
going
smart.
to give him another half a turn.
Oh yeah, more turns wasted in his favor are good.
Oh, now he just needs to choose the right target. Do you go for the Ray? Do you go for the Arya?
see
Those
it.
are surely the priority targets here.
Absolutely. Yes, gets the death sentence. It is time to count down Arya's doom here.
All right, well, there's a couple of things you can do. And no, we're going to go for the provoke on the Ray. Super smart, but no, the
Not
potion
50-50.
vial.
But can they put him to sleep? Because again, the designer Lilibet is ready to cleanse.
Yeah, that designer Lilibet is going to be huge. You need her to pop off right now.
right,
Ray's going to
night-night.
drop. Yeah, that Crow comes out. Lots of Venoms and Sleeps. Doesn't manage to strip Ainz' counterattack buff. That's the one that really matters and
Yep.
the one that you want to stick for him to be annoying.
Despite the CR push, unfortunately, G Perkins just barely missing out on his turn. That silence being cleansed off with the extra turn as well from Death Dealer Ray might mean that Arya is ready to set up and might be able to take out Ainz before he can let that whole cooldown go.
Even though there's not a whole lot of debuffs here, we are dropping the designer Lilibet S3 just to cleanse. But you know what else it does? Its combat readiness pushes Vic's entire team, hits the General Perkins, pushes the captain's entire team,
Hold.
and now
Well
suddenly
done.
the Albedo is in so much danger.
Big
Wow.
stun on the Death Dealer Ray and on the General Purgus, but Arya is about to set up her skill 3, which means she's going to get a counterattack buff.
Shadows.
Oh no, you know, I was saying if you soul burn just one time, press the S3, suddenly Arya is dropping 6 Venom stacks, but we don't want to do that because every additional turn you take gets her closer to her death.
This might be some pretty bad damage here, though. Let's see the counterattack. Here comes the skill 3, the animated skill 3 with a big hit. Is that going to be enough to take out Einzel Gown? Not enough.
Yeah, I mean, now you just want to all in the Ainz before the Arya goes. We're hitting
Yep,
once, and I
charge.
think the Zeal is taking him out right here.
Yep, looks like it. So, Death Sentence is unfortunately delayed. A huge sigh of relief from the crowd. Or maybe a little sigh of disappointment. Who knows?
Yeah, I think people wanted to see the Death Sentence go on.
All right, it looks like Vic Chen does decide to go to Game 3. Game 3 match again for our second top 4 match. Very exciting.
yeah.
That was so close.
I will say, you know, draft mode's not one of those things, you know, as a very competitive player myself, I would think to play, but in an event like this where everybody's just kind of coming in, this is great. Everybody
A
just
great
picks up
spectator
one
match.
of the setups and
For sure.
just gets on.
All right, and we're getting into our last match of this set. Vic Chen versus the captain. Make some noise for your favorite player. Who's going to take it? All right, we have our first picks here. Going right on. I mean, plenty of noise, too.
I mean,
The crowd goes somewhere.
I think the crowd is sitting in anticipation, wondering where this set is going to go.
On the edge of their seats, I cannot say I blame them. If I was on the edge of my seat, though, I'd probably fall face first. So please do that for me instead.
Yeah, these chairs, this is my first time in a director's chair.
How does it feel being in the hot seat?
Not safe is how I would call it.
It is pretty warm, though. I think that's why
As
they call it
somebody who
hot seat.
doesn't, you know, very often go outside, I miss my gamer chair.
Fair enough. Hey, posture's always good. Hey, if you're sitting in your chair right now from home, sit up. Roll your
Yeah,
shoulders
I'm
back.
hitting you with a hydrate posture check as well as stretch. Make sure you guys get it.
Absolutely.
Even for gamers, we're healthy gamers.
Absolutely. And our first picks here, Laya and the 3F Last Rider Crow. Very solid standard picks here. What's going to be the choice here?
I think I'll give the edge to the Laya. Laya, in general, just has better utility, right? She has the cleanse, the cooldown reset, the dual attacks, and the true damage. You know, the more I say, the more I'm just like, wow, that's kind of a
stacked kit, right?
That's a lot.
Ooh, interesting choice here. Let's see what they go for. I think there's an idea of what they want to do, but
I do like that bottom middle unit, if anything. I think that is definitely something you want to pick into Delia, but you know, we know Vic to be a slow, methodical player. But
all right, we go fast. That's
he's
fine.
going to pick for it. That's fine.
I don't blame them. Let's see here. More interesting choices here. Yeah, Midnight Galileuthis, we've been seeing her a ton, known to be a huge tank buster and an auto crit unit. Great against HP scalers, just like Laya, and sometimes against Urban Shadow Shoot, but she does have Proof of Valor on, so a little harder to take out.
Urban Shadow Shoot's nothing to scoff at, right? Earlier, we saw her make a lot of tempo plays, and in this exact case, going to be able to put a number down on Last Rider Crow and hold back his damage as well.
And suddenly here, the captain's momentum is kind of falling out here, having to go with a Blooming Lidica pick that doesn't feel like it fits anywhere right now. No debuffs on the opponent means that Blooming Lidica cannot proc on her own.
I will still say in draft mode, Blooming Lidica is not the worst character. You would prefer playing her with that combo.
Absolutely.
But if you just play her as a standalone unit, you drop an S3 on something, and against the right unit specifically.
Very true.
It's still like a, what, 17,000, 18,000 damage nuke?
Yeah, especially against slower units, right?
Yeah, and she puts up a whole layer of skill nullifiers for her team, and you can hold back damage like the Last Rider Crow, like the Galileuthis.
Well, let's see what these picks go on here. I mean, you think they might be cheeky enough to go for this right character for that very cheeky defense break, and then the Blooming Lidica? Yes, I'm right.
Oh, wow.
And we have the Dragon King Shroon and the Brig. Again, Brig actually shows up a lot. Ooh, interesting here for this last pick. There's something here.
Oh, man. I mean, I know you're happy to see it.
Of course I am.
That is crazy.
That is a lot of danger, for sure.
Yeah, Dragon King Shroon, I mean, I think here you're not going to exactly get that value with the Cascade just because she really likes when your opponent is looking to stun, right? Here, the only stun is Blooming Lidica.
Sure, but hey, I mean, if she's forced to hit, right, that's a great opportunity here for Vic Jun.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Last Rider Crow with immunity for the entire team is mostly going to nullify that. So
that's very true.
Mostly you're just playing her for the attack down on 3 characters here and the defense break on Brig.
Getting down to the wire, the last couple of seconds, really thinking about these last couple of turns to be made here. Some great options here.
Yeah, going down to the last
interesting. So the captain choosing Briar Witch Asteria instead of the Dragon Bride Senya instead.
I think Briar Witch Isaria is a really good character. 1, you're denying the revive from Spirit Eye Celine.
True.
And 2, you are the more aggressive player. So when you rip that S3, it strips all buffs, lands defense break, and unbuffable, which not only combos with Blooming Lidica, but you are putting so much pressure down on Vic Chung. And in his case, he doesn't have a cleanser, so it's going to be so rough.
Has to go for ban there. And banning out the... Yep, that makes sense for the Midnight Galileuthis, making sure that Shu and Laya are kept safe for most of the match.
It just puts the captain in such a good spot because it pulled the ban, it forced out the ban, and this is what we call a force ban.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we're going to have Spirit Eye Celine setting up with this beautiful skill tree, setting up the immortality for her and for the rest of her team.
I think Vic really needs a Spirit Eye Celine to pop off. Not only is she going to counter attack, I mean, not too many units here, just because most of the captain's units are single target.
They're going to have to gun it for this Shu, though, because that Shu with that fixed damage is slowly ticking away at Spirit Eye Celine's max health. Going to be a little challenging. And it's true, the lower her max health is, the less damage she will take, but fixed damage becomes so much more dangerous.
Blooming Lidica here, thinking about the target, and I think you might go for that Lone Crescent Bologna just because you
just going right to gun it. Go for the AoE skill nulls, I guess. That was a pretty good amount of damage. Last Rider Crow is...
It's a bit.
Last Rider Crow is not on death's door here, but not looking too comfortable.
Yeah, Blooming Lidica, you're mostly looking to hit stuff you can have a big speed difference to.
True.
And that's where her damage penetration comes in. And when you can't penetrate versus a pretty fast character that you're not creating that speed differential, she doesn't really hit that hard, so we're just doing this for the skill nullifier.
Absolutely. Albert's coming through. Here comes fans. That's some good damage there.
Lone Crescent Bologna with the bat back. That has to come up huge. Defense break on the Brig.
Oh,
I
the
think
Brig
you
going
just got to
straight
go for it.
Is it going to be enough? Yes, that looks
That's
like a big amount
definitely
of
enough damage. You are looking to pick up this kill, put a Vigor buff, and start pushing tempo for your team to make your comeback. Because
That's
if you
right.
drag this out long enough, Shu is too much value, and so is the Lion able to close out any character that she has to fight.
And for those who don't know, again, Lone Crescent Bologna gives herself Vigor buff on her skill 3, but if an enemy is killed, the Vigor buff is applied to the whole team. Very, very dangerous stuff here. Here comes Spirit Eye Celine. Let's see what they do with it.
Yeah, he's thinking about his target
very
there,
carefully.
And I do believe you really want to remove the Urban Shadow Shoe as soon as possible. The other two characters might have a
Going
bit
for
of
the
a
Lion instead. I believe as well, this one is built on Dust Devil.
Yeah, not getting that proc does hurt, but
It does, unfortunately, but still plenty of fighting chances here.
yeah, Laya is already down to her last 8,000 HP, and I think even one Soulburn S1 from the Lone Crescent Bologna takes her away.
Yeah, could just say good night. So a lot of fun momentum going right back into Vicchun here.
So if we're not going on the shoot, then we have to all in the Laya and go as fast as possible. Vic, at this point, looks like he's giving up the Last Rider Crow.
Yep.
But after this Blooming Lidica turn, he is going to be getting 3 consecutive turns. So need to make the right choice in that span to really bring that tempo. And, you know, we keep talking about this tempo, right? It's using this window of chain turns to create that advantage for yourself.
Right.
And when you do that and you play to that tempo, you can really throw off your opponent and derail their game plan. And like we said, Last Rider Crow, you know, even though he's deathly injured, ooh, stun onto the shoe, and we do get that Lone Crescent Bologna turn. He's gonna think about it for a second, but does take out the Laya, a little bit of a cheeky duel.
And that was huge too, because the Light had just spent her cleanse too.
Oh man.
It's coming down to the wire here, going one more time. Oh, taking out the Blooming Lidica instead. No Dust Devil proc again. Might not actually be Dust Devil, I'm not sure. But this is looking very, very good into Vicchun's favor. Maybe another Soulburn here just to guarantee that stun. Let's see it. Yes, gets it, and that looks like it's going to be closing it out for this match here. Duel for fun. GG's. Vicchun moving on to our grand finals. And don't forget, the captain is also going to be staying in for the 3rd place qualifier here.
Oh man, that match was, especially from the draft, was looking so good for the captain, but I mean, that's essentially what draft mode really comes down to.
Absolutely.
Even if you do not get the best characters, if you get a very consistent team and you play it well, you change your turns well, and you choose your targets well, you can almost always turn that into a huge W for yourself. Very well played.
Very, very well played by both sides there. Again, those matches were really down to the wire. I thought it was a very, very smart play, methodical, calculated, using every resource as best they could. Some choices for sure we were like not sure about, but I feel like a lot of them did work out. And that's what's so cool about draft mode. Everything has an opportunity to work.
And that's the thing, right? A lot of times, when you look at people who are trying to get into RTA, right?
Right.
They're trying to learn the best plan. Like, what is the best build? What is the best play? What is the best character?
For sure.
When in reality, especially when you look at something like this draft mode, there is no best unit. There is no best draft. There is no best plan,
Absolutely right.
You just have to pick a plan that works, that makes sense to you, and stick to your guns on it.
Especially because the first pick is so weighted around, hey, this is going to either like be your make or break right here for a lot of drafts. You got to be smart about that and then think about, okay, how do I understand each of the individual styles to play, and how can I make sure that my units are flexible for that?
Absolutely, and I mean that's the beauty of RTA, right?
Absolutely,
I mean, as somebody who's played the game a lot, that's what gets me coming back, right?
Absolutely.
Especially watching all of these guys design their own play style. You know, we have, if you look at all the different regions, right? I would say global is about the most flexible, right? You have all kinds of players. You got people who play like everybody else. You got the meta players. You got some real freaky guys out here, right?
Absolutely.
If you look at like Korea and EU, for example, there's a lot of people that just play tanky. That's for sure. Right? You look at Japan server, it's like how would you say, the Japan server is like those girls who go, I'm not like the other girls, right? They have so much ER builds.
Absolutely.
Right? And Asia server is all about speed, right?
Oh, yeah.
Speed, speed, speed.
Well, once again, guys, if you guys don't remember, this is presented by Amazon Appstore. Did you guys know that you can get 5% back in Amazon coins today and tomorrow when purchasing in Epic 7 in-game assets? Again, all your packs, everything else like that, 5% additional back. And with Amazon Coin, don't forget the fact that you can already save up to 10% when purchasing with Amazon Coin instead. If you're interested, be sure to check the QR code there or check in the description in the chat. Remember, Amazon Appstore is only for Android and Amazon tablets, but hey, if you have the ability to take advantage of it, I would highly recommend doing so.
Yeah, when I see that, that just means whenever I pack something, right? Imagine you had to get a Mystic pack, you had to get one of the limited edition packs, the Mystic packs, right?
Right.
You just get your monthly refunded to you.
Totally. It's great. But I think we're ready for our next match in just a moment here. Let's take a look at our players. Are they all ready to go? Let's take a look here. Believe so. So we're going to go right into our next match. 3, 2, 1. Third player. Let's get going.
Yeah, winner here will be playing for an Amazon gift card on top of that Archie plush. And don't forget, I don't know about you. I mean, you're a CM. I'm sure people ask you a lot.
Maybe.
How often do people ask you for that Archie plush?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, very often.
Yeah, I think across all events, I got, 2 or 3 Archie plushes from you guys, and I've given every single one away.
Really?
Yeah, I always get people asking, right?
I mean, people love the plush. I don't disagree. They're very soft and fluffy. I love them. But what's not so soft are these picks here.
Oh, yep. They're going hard. I mean, Ran going immediately and Nahual as well. We saw her. If she gets to play the game, your opponent doesn't. And that, even though she's not the fastest character, I believe is an insanely attractive prospect.
Absolutely. We have some really interesting picks here. Oh, the Ran into the...
Oh, yeah. Roana into the Ran. I mean, Requiem Roana, one of my favorite characters right now, just got buffed. Will be able to follow the frontmost character in her team. So essentially, you can just glue her to a Ran, to a Payra, and she will just go, go, go. Even though I think she's great here, here's a problem, right?
Right.
You only have one fast character in that Ran.
That's true.
Whereas Phantom Dash has the Nahual, has the Zahak. There's 2 fast characters under his name.
Whoop, pardon
and
me.
if you really think about it, oh boy. If that Ran is banned, what do? How do you speed back up?
It's hard to say. It's really, really hard to say. There's a lot of momentum here left and right. I feel like, yeah, because both of them are kind of racing, even though there were some interesting picks with, like, going right into the...
Oh, Closer Charles,
Ooh.
That is his second fast character. I mean, that's exactly what you needed. And here, now, you just ban something.
Yeah, we'll have
You
to
just
see
ban the fastest character. Like, this is a matter of, did you do your homework? Do you know if the Zahak's faster?
Right.
Or if the Monk was faster?
We'll have to see very, very soon here. Getting our bans out here. Oh, going for the Nahual and the Ran ban. Makes sense, right? We'll have to see what the match turns out here. But this is, again, our 3rd place qualifier match. So, that's 3.
Going right into it. Both players just so decisive with their drafts and bans. The Hawk takes the first turn over Closer Charles.
That's crazy. That is insane.
You know what else is crazy is I think the captain might have mispositioned it a little bit.
Maybe, given that, yeah.
Requiem Roana is sitting in the front. She's going to be stuck in the Nether zone by herself.
That happens sometimes, I've heard. All right, it's going to get into Zahak. Skill 3 right into Closer.
Drops it right in. Zahak will hit any matter of evasion characters.
Yep.
Closer Charles gets taken out right away. And now suddenly this has become a match about the Solitaria, about the Tempest Surin. These characters need to be able to swing it back for him. Whoa! Soulburn!
Whoa, gets greedy there.
Soulburn onto the Solitaria, but that got resisted.
It did. Maybe the resistance Solitaria here. Going for it again. Gets a bomb that time.
I'm ready.
Alexis Backstick coming out here for the Tempest Surin. Only the attack buff, not the greater, but that's still going to be some pretty good damage. Go for Soulburn.
We're going for the Soulburn. That Soulburn is going to need a hit. Rips it into 3
Oh,
targets.
my goodness. So what are they going to have to do here with this Lone Crescent Balloon? I feel like it's the majority of the danger here, but the cleanse is coming very, very soon too.
Yeah.
With the Meteor Quirk.
Meteor Choleric and the Lone Crescent Bellona is the anchor for this
Has to go for the, gets the blind.
Misses
Triple
on 3,
blind.
that's kind of huge.
That's huge. Also plant some bombs. This time the bomb is going through.
Yeah, the Tempest Surin most likely will cleanse for herself.
Yeah, top unit getting knocked out pretty quickly there. But, ooh, that Tempest Surin, she's in a dangerous spot right now. Double miss, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, all you have to do is ignore the Tempest Turret, ignore the stealth unit. Those units will stun themselves off the bomb and just burn some attacks onto that Requiem Rolana sitting in the middle of nowhere. And, you know, turn or oh no, that's a lot of damage.
That was some good damage. Again, this is like this mediator has a lot of damage here.
I mean, here's my thing. Was that damage you wanted to do? Because, like, if you did that, she dies faster, and now you're gonna have to hit the Tempest Turret. I guess it's fine because you're so far ahead. You bat back.
Have a bomb still.
I don't know if that. Yeah, that might just not matter to you.
We'll have to see here.
Yeah, Solitary is gonna go for the S3. This is the last turn she's taking before the bomb goes off, and with the 2-turn immunity, Lone Crescent Bellona just doesn't care. And wow, S3 is going to come through. And I think she's putting up vigor buff for the entire team. Tempest Turret shouldn't be able to hold versus this damage.
Absolutely. Dual attack for fun.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Big hit.
Yeah, I mean, I think Phantom
up,
Dash
up.
was in the driver's seat already, but that dual attack just more than confirms it.
All right, let's see here. We're going to our next match in just a moment here once the players are ready to go. Yeah, we were just whipping it right through.
Oh man, wasting no time. Let's get it.
All right, get into it. All right, we got some interesting choices here on the board.
Yep, and once again, Blood Moon Haze. If you see it, pick it, can't go wrong. Same with Janua, right?
Yep.
Those are the boys. Now, once again,
And Han is showing up here once again. Very aggressive enabler.
You know, I do really like the captain's options when it has for playing aggro. He can just get it done. Oh man, we got the Omin. You know, wow, instead of the Eternal Wanderer Ludwig, he's gonna pick up Judge Kise right here. Whereas Phantom Dash kind of going for a standard, you know, tank down evasion composition.
I'll have to see what's going to go on here, because I think that, like, for the most part, you know, Red and Violet is always just there to, well, he's there to make or break your team sometimes. And having that for your second pick might be a little risky here, but we'll have to see what happens.
Assassin Sid comes out for the captain, trying to shut down some units, and having your Zahak picked into an Acid, we saw that earlier. That is, that's a death sentence.
For sure. All right, we got the Vildred coming out here, the Tempest Surin. So it looks like we're getting much more aggressive here on both sides. Mainly, I mean, the right side has been incredibly aggressive so far, but see what happens.
I do like this. I mean, the speed is getting faster and faster and faster.
Perfectly curated cleave team.
Yeah, I mean, we take those, I guess, but as a victim to one of those before, hey, if you get those, you better push on that momentum and win
you better
it, because
hit the gas and don't expect to stop running.
Yeah,
that seal pick is so clutch, though. I mean, it's basically a force ban, right?
Yeah, you force that ban, and I think at this point, it's the Blood Moon Haste, it's the Tempest Surin that's going to be able to hold it down.
We're going to see some numbers flying left and right. I think of the orange variety. What do you think?
Yeah, no, we're definitely going to see a lot of numbers fly, and but first, we're going to need to watch 2 cutscenes.
Very true.
Take my power.
Here's number 1. Is going to put up Skill Nullifier for her team.
Yep, big team protection here, which is great, especially against someone like the Tempest Surin who needs that AoE.
Yeah, and I really just want to highlight for some of the newer players in the community, combat readiness is by far the most valuable thing in the game, right?
Absolutely.
Everybody likes speed, but you know, what is speed? Speed is here to generate combat readiness, and being able to push up your team like that, super valuable. Assassin Sid takes out the Zahak like
Blood Aura is here to stay, though, already bringing out that huge barrier and buff.
Yeah, and this might be a Blood Moon Haze showcase. Just absolutely shielding these squishy units. I mean,
Riley got hit. We don't talk about that.
That's fine. He burns the hit pity.
He did. Yeah, that means he's going to be dodging left and right for the rest of throughout the rest of this match,
He
right?
dodges the next 3 attack for sure then.
Oh, look away, Chad. Oh,
look, don't look, guys. Don't look. Don't look. He resists. That's all good. It's like he didn't get hit at all.
Plot armor. All right, and gets that big heal. It's like nothing ever happened.
Absolutely. Blood Moon Haste says, I got you, homie. It's like you dodged.
Okay, there we go. There we go. We're back on track here. Quota fulfilled. Gab there. Unfortunately, everyone's got skill nulls, but being able to clear those off will be very, very useful.
Yeah, no matter what, you're clearing it out with greater attack buff. Here's the thing. I do believe that Haze can just swing the scythe, and if you do that, you're immediately bringing back the Hawk.
Yeah, there we go.
dispels all debuffs, and we're shredding it. That Assassin Sid takes 18k damage, is gonna go down. Zaha comes back, and we still got Closer Charles coming up. Rylet goes.
Big hit from Rylet. There you go.
Massacre does so much damage. This Ahmed is dead. I don't even need a look.
I think he was just putting on a show for all of us here.
Oh man, that's why we like seeing him. He just puts down such a hit.
The little Mercedes saying, "Oh, we'll try next time."
Oh, a little bit of an
A
emo
little bit
comes
of
out.
banter from left and right here. I love it. You love to see it.
Oh, a bit of a cheeky emo.
All right, just go to. Oh my God!
Oh, this is the fakest Rylet I've ever seen.
It's true because Phantom Dash isn't putting enough faith into him, right? Faith scaling unit, right? That's the motto.
Oh man, brother. I want to say I kind of helped jinx that Rylet, but you were the one that said there's gonna be orange numbers flying left and right.
I did indeed
so we're
say
in this
that.
together.
You know what? We do take the blame for that. I solemnly apologize.
Focus on the
All right, we still have one more good hit here. Let me take it again. Go for Rylet for funny. Okay.
Yeah, go for Rylet. Hey, if
not
I
dead.
lost by 3 character, it's not as bad as if I lost by 4
No,
character.
he's still there. He's still sitting there. He's actually going to end up the match here, I think.
Oh, the Judge Casey. If she was a little bit faster,
And there we go. Ooh. And that was going to be 2-0 for the captain, taking 3rd place in our tournament. Congratulations to our players here.
Phantom Dash, right? Should be taking
Yeah.
home the Arky plush as well as the Amazon gift card for himself. GG's.
Alrighty, so that means, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we are down to our last 2 players. Grand Finals is coming up right now.
Oh, man. Yeah, okay, so what's our expectation? We actually got to see matches of all variety today.
We saw everything. Hopefully we won't see, failure to evade, right?
We got to see Tank Fest.
We got to see tanks. We got to see.
We got to see Cleave. We got to see Cleave versus Cleave.
This
We
is
got to
true.
see Tank versus Cleave. We got to see a Stall Fest, right?
Okay, yes, we did.
Control matches.
Yep.
RNG Fest.
We had the whole 9 yards around here. That is what we love about draft mode here. We did see some crazy evasions and crazy not evasions too. So, hey, we got the whole thing covered here, right? Mm-hmm. Our opponents are getting ready in just a moment here. To wait for them to take the stand.
Oh, man.
Getting mentally prepared for grand finals. Again, there's some pretty good prizes, right? We have the official Epic 7 trading card game, a full box set of that, and
wow.
a volume 1, the Epic 7 art book.
Okay, yeah. Do you want to go over what might be in some of these?
I think it might be best just to.
Oh,
leave it a
you're
surprise.
giving Chad a little tease,
A little tease. And
Okay,
if I remember
I see
correctly, the part of the art book, right, is that beautiful, fluffy Arky skin for Mercedes, right?
Oh, yeah,
And I
yeah.
think it's still redeemable. So,
Oh, okay.
a little trophy to wear, perhaps.
Okay, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
And then I'm aware we're also going to have a room specifically for some merchandise later.
I do believe so, yes. So for those here in the audience today, we will be having not only a little fun raffle, but we also be giving away little goodie bags as thanks for showing up to our wonderful event. Once again, guys, how have we been today? How has this event been for you guys? You guys loving it here? All right, that's what we like to hear. It looks like both of our players are ready. Grand Finals. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Grand Finals going right now.
Let's get it!
Let's do it.
The Mola Mash, sponsored by Amazon Appstore Grand Finals matchups.
Yep.
We got Vic Chung versus Hoove. Vic Chung on blue team, Hoove on the red team.
Yep.
Who will take it for themselves and get that grand prize?
Once again, best of 3, so you got to make it count.
Oh, wow. And first off, we already see a disparity. Abyssal Yuffie's been one of the most stable characters that, when she gets the full fighting spirit bar, she has that guaranteed pop-off.
Very dangerous, for
But
sure.
see Phantom Politus, you gain half of all fighting spirits.
Cutting it right in half is very, very dangerous, that's for sure. Already off to a lower leg here, Hoove, but we still have 4 amazing picks to go through here. It is not over yet.
I already see one of my favorite characters here. Just so disruptive.
Absolutely.
Being able to not only just follow up with your fastest unit.
Oh, goes
wow,
for the
he
shuffle.
rolls that?
Interesting. I guess he might want to take a little bit more of a, how do you put it? A little less aggressive, a little bit more on the, hey, I like my big tanks, right?
Yeah, maybe he's playing to his comfort zone. I can respect that.
Yeah, we've seen other matches where, like, you had tanks from Vic Chun, right? That was then supplemented by a big opener. That's what I'm seeing here, right? The synergy with the enraged buff here with Mort.
Ooh, Yep, goes for the more, re-rolls into the more, and now injury into Yulha, into a little bit of Abyssal Euphine. Not the worst choice.
Not the bad choice at all, especially with those death breaks, right? Especially now that they ignore F-Res.
Yeah, and you know, if I think about it, Requiem Roana into Abyssal Euphine, probably not the smartest thing because you do gain only half the combat readiness.
That is true, but if they did have an extra turn unit, that might have been a little better. And that -1 turn cooldown, especially even if you pop them to full fighting spirit, they won't be able to cleanse themselves, right? They need that. They need that skill 3 to be able to put up the trauma buff, right?
Ooh, I do like that. Birgitta, one of those units that can just single out the Abyssal Euphine, is so good versus solo carry compositions, right?
Definitely.
You target out a unit and suddenly the allies can't support them.
It is true. And being able to choke out the fighting spirit with Sea Phantom Politis means that she won't be cleansing herself anytime soon.
The team can't help her. She will be left in the middle of nowhere by herself with no help.
Yep, we'll have to see what these next picks have to do. Looking a little dangerous here. Looks like Hoof has used their reroll as well. I see something funny there.
You see something funny?
I see something very funny there.
I don't know, bro. Like, you know, the team can't really help you. I guess here's 20%. Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Hey, again, we saw some crazy dodges there. All right, Silverblade Araminta and the Researcher Carrot here.
Ooh, Researcher Carrot, I think is actually fairly decent into this composition.
With those burns, right?
As long as you're not fighting into too much bulk, too much ER. Is pretty solid. Unlike the Silverblade Araminta, generally a good pick, but into the maid Chloe, I do think it's a bit risky. If you don't stun the maid,
right,
you risk having all of your work undone.
And I see another pick that might actually, yeah, this Ambitious Tywin too, being able to cleanse off a lot of those debuffs. Also, the Bihu, very interesting here, synergizing with those burns, especially from Silverblade Araminta, right? Very interesting character. I love seeing how diverse the cast of Epic 7 characters are.
And, you know, really, really tough ban here because Hoof is lacking a little bit damage outside of the Abyssal Euphine, but
and I feel like
I don't know
is
if you want to
also
ban
too.
that.
Right, and I also think that the Abyssal Euphine, or excuse me, Vicchon is also missing a little bit out with the board if they got banned out.
Whoa, okay. I was not expecting the Birgitta ban.
Respecting the Brigitte pick. Wow.
Yeah, takes out the maid Chloe as well. I would say that is excellently played in Vic's favor.
Very, very much so. We're gonna have to see. So, okay, we have big first turn here. Sea Phantom Politis ready to set up, put up that enrage buff.
Yeah, generally speaking, no matter what, you want to set it up as soon as possible. Sea Phantom Politis without the enrage just isn't that good. You want the uptime so she can start pulling dual attacks with your highest attack character, and in this case, pushes back 3 and lands speed down.
And Bihu here, I honestly, after Bihu's rework, I think he's a very, very solid unit. Being able to deal some big damage burns, apply them with EE as well. A lot of momentum just right into their favor. And even though a Tywin is here, now the Unbubbable is there, meaning that he cannot put up that enrage.
Yep, and we're going to snap.
Big stuns. Quad stun.
Quad stuns. I mean,
huge momentum.
100% stun chance, and a Tywin can only cleanse 1 debuff.
All right.
Not going to be able to get that out of here. Mort is here to stomp. Consequence-free injury
out, guns
across the team for Hoof.
Does take a burn for his trouble, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only benefit of having that carrot on your team right now.
Yep.
All of these characters are just taking burn after burn. I mean, after enough, you know, it might make a huge difference.
Big snap there.
Oh,
all right, Bihu here. There's 3 burns on Abyssal Euphine right now.
There's 3 burns on Abyssal Euphine.
And carrot.
3 on carrot. And
what's your choice here?
Yeah, it sounds like take your pick.
Oh, goes for the Ambitious Tywin instead. Big pop there, 9,500 damage.
Yeah,
right.
it almost seems like he wants to just lay down more damage on the Tywin before he get his passive reset so that he starts cleansing again.
I think he might have it up now, actually, now that he's taken a turn. We'll have to see what the choice is here. I think Silverblade Araminta automatically procs, so it's going to be a little dangerous here. Going for that guarantee there.
Going for the silver, hits another stun. That is massive.
And Hoof is not able to get off the ground right now.
Yeah, and when a Tywin is, you know, crowd control after crowd control, that's the only problem, right? When there's a little bit, Ambitious Tywin is really good. He cleanses it,
Absolutely.
He's angry, he's going to stun your team back. But when you're overwhelming him with debuffs, what is he gonna do?
Right, there's several other characters who are just like that, who have vulnerability stun even though they love taking debuffs. And yeah, the answer, more debuffs.
Oh man,
Big
and
momentum
defense
push here for
break
Big
as
John.
well. Oh, this Mort. You know, I don't usually think very highly of Mort, but in this case, this Mort is putting in work and he's earning his
How
keep.
could you think so lowly of the Great Mortalix? He's got great in his name. How could you do that?
He seems like a feet fetishist.
What?
What?
Anyways,
Anyway.
big burns there. Abyssal Yuffie barely holding on thanks to that counterattack.
You know, the crazy part is that this was a normal match. Abyssal Yuffie would be getting ready for her trauma, ready to
is true.
jump off the walls and absolutely
She's not even
blow up Big
close
Chunks
to ready.
team.
She's, she kind of a little sluggish waking out of bed here.
Yeah, she's exactly halfway, and you hate to see it. And now, with this extra attack,
Yep.
gets sent to her holy sacrifice. Now she revives.
She's still
Abyssal
alive
Tywin
here.
goes, or Ambitious Tywin goes down. Yolha is still down for the count.
I think this is the first turn that Researcher Carrot has been able to take a turn here.
I think this is the turn Hoove is playing the game in general.
Yeah, it's true. A lot of burns. Counterattack. Mort says, no, we don't do that here. But the flame barrier keeping them alive.
Man, Mort sucks.
I wouldn't say that.
I think if it was Shu, Shu would kill him.
I mean,
Shu would hit the push, and the carrot would be gone.
Don't be nervous now.
Mort has been putting in a lot of work here, so I would
Yeah,
not. I would
yeah,
not
you know
smack
what?
talk
That's
him
fair.
here.
That's fair. I take that back. I'm sorry, sir. I
How
apologize.
dare
I
you.
was not aware of your game.
How dare you? Now we're gonna have to be very careful about skirting around this Yolha, especially because we don't want her to proc. Counterattack coming from here. That's a big hit.
Counterattack from the Abyssal
And
Yuffie.
now sure,
Takes
her
out
fighting
two
spirit is back and
characters.
available. Suddenly,
I can do it too.
Hoove is looking great.
Oh man, suddenly, yeah, Hoove is in the driver's seat.
Whoa.
Mort is not surviving another turn.
But do they have skill 3 up? That might be all they need.
No,
doesn't
it's
have
just
it.
a soul burn skill
Ah,
one.
brutal.
I'll show you some results.
I think that's going to be it for the first match here. Hoove knocking out from the brink of death.
Wow, he was crowd control for the entire game. Really only got to press one button
Oh,
for
my
his
goodness.
troubles. And one counterattack, all it took for him to swing that
Oh
comeback.
my-
Abyssal Yuffie,
Yeah.
consistency,
And
right?
Hoove already slated to take this. Looks like they're ready to go, so we'll skip the wait. It will go right into the next match.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to yap here. I want to send these guys into the second match. I want to see the conclusion of
I
this
want to
set.
see the end of this too here. Now, I think you were saying something about a certain hero being one of the best built here. Getting skipped over here. Janu Alaya, could you ask for a better opening here?
I mean, I just like seeing Janua. I like when matches are quick, high tempo, lots of damage going in left and right, and lots of outplaying, right? Janua is like the peak of that right now.
How poetic for Janua to only be here at the start and the end of the matches today, right? For top 8. Because I don't think he was here at any other point.
And I mean, I think if we're playing constructive, we'd see a lot more Janua, even if it's in the pre-bans, right?
Absolutely, I understand
But in
that
draft
totally.
mode, if he's here, he's here.
Oh yeah, and here comes Brigitte too. Once again, very interesting. We've seen a lot of Brigitte picks here. She hasn't been able to take the stage yet, but we'll have to see if she'll do it this time.
Yeah, Brigitte, very interesting pick here. Usually you're picking that versus a bit of a slower composition to punish the solo carries, right?
Absolutely.
And in this case, I think that just gives Vic Chung early direction. You want to speed up. You want to put your foot a little bit harder. Maybe not pedal to the metal,
Right.
but you want to step down and push that tempo, push that
Absolutely.
advantage, and go hard.
Celine pick and against the Kayron here. Again, pretty brutal stuff here, given that Kayron is or should be the highest attack in this team right now, meaning that Celine will go right into him and proc that immortality.
Vic Chung is going to hit his reroll here. Rimmer, Little Queen Charlotte, and Eaton. I think he's looking for a speed opener because he knows he has to play
He needs
fast.
something here.
And not exactly getting rewarded here
Unfortunately
for that reroll.
so, yeah.
Maybe it's Rimuru, you know, just because...
That makes it a don't touch anybody kind of situation, right?
Exactly, and especially if you put Kayron's buffs up, maybe you just zap him.
Yeah,
and,
you nuke him. Oh, going for the Eaton instead. You know, even though these characters are all pretty darn squishy, having mitigation can just keep them on a little bit longer.
And, you know, even going to the last pick, Vic is not finding the aggression engine he needs. He's
needs
going to need to
something
scrap together a team composition that does not rely on having an engine, having a combat readiness push.
Absolutely
like
right.
that closer Charles that we
Right.
saw, like the Ahmed. That's just, you know, so good. They're a one-man, right?
just
Immediately, you're driving at your opponent.
There are some good options here, though. Wouldn't say he's out of the race just yet. I think that there's some interesting picks that might be able to play perfectly into the hands of the DPS that his opponent has here, which might be a huge benefit.
And
Yeah, and the Inferno Kawazu is just what I was thinking, right? Having to be forced into an AoE, say from Kayron, right? That'll proc him. He'll be able to ignore F-Res when dispelling debuffs. Might be able to take off that huge immortality buff very early.
Yeah, and I wonder if Sheltier's just going to be removed. That's looking like who's most consistent source of damage.
Potentially so, yeah. Especially now that Inferno Kawazu is a big threat against even the Judge Kisek. Down to the last second here.
Yep.
K-Ron ban, Eaton ban. Interesting. So we say ban mid, go time.
Yeah, ban mid-time go is one of the mantras of all time of RTA
Indeed.
players, and I think Hoove even recognizes it is time for him to speed up the match.
All right, looks like, ooh, I think that Navy Captain, or excuse me, Pirate Captain Flan is a little slower this match here.
Yeah, are we seeing this? Judge Kisek gets a big turn here. Does he go for the defense break,
But does he
though?
gun it? Because again, Inferno Kawazu is not trailing very far behind. So how does he just go with that skill 1?
He doesn't gun it, okay. Yeah, because, I mean, it's not just Kawazu, right? You got the Janua as well. You put down too much damage onto the Janua by accident. Uh-oh.
Right. And also, but again, right, if Inferno Kawazu cuts, that's saying goodbye to Shelter, right? No stats at start of combat, very similar to Solitaria.
And then at that point, you're just looking at Alaya solo, and
Burns
I don't know.
cleanse
if you
early.
want to-
Uh-oh. Here comes Celine. And she might be able to cut in front of the Sheltier here. That might have been a big misplay. She
Whoa,
does.
yep, and I think Sheltier's just gone. Hoove loses most of his damage
That
with
is if
that.
they hit. If this misses, this might be a completely different story. We'll have to wait and see.
Oh, okay. I do think with attack buff, though, even on a miss, you're probably getting that kill.
Oh, goes for the Brigida instead.
Whoa, okay.
Knocking out a very pivotal unit there. Now being able to stealth. Honestly, smart pick, given that Sheltier no longer is a threat against Celine, which I think was like the most dangerous thing here.
Here's the problem. Sheltier needs to one-shot this Pirate Captain Flan, but
Yeah.
she is under her 60% health threshold. No free self-attack buff, so she
Yep.
is just going to have to rip it. She's
gonna have to gun
Goes
it.
right in onto the Pirate Captain Flan. Is that gonna be
Oh,
enough?
no, just barely not enough.
Oh man, she doesn't have a front unit taking damage for her.
No.
And she barely hangs on due to the no attack buff. Drops the
Sierra
S3,
push,
set
yep.
sail.
Here
Oh
comes
boy.
Janua. Yeah.
And the Janua, finally. We get to see.
Saying hello to the, hey, you guys remember me. I'm in the meta, right?
He's thinking about it. He's thinking about who he's chomping up.
I think it's going to be the Judge Kisei. Yep.
Drops a big bite out of the judge.
Wind Rider, and hey, Betty Mars Tachi also proccing here for the Inferno Kawazu, and Hoove just says, all right, we want a game 3, we're going to go game 3.
I mean, look, when we have a series on our hands, I am not going to say no.
Absolutely. All right, looks like they're ready to go in. Game 3, Grand Finals. Everyone make some noise! Let's get it. Who will take it, Vic Chun or Hoove, on this last match of the day?
Oh boy.
Oh,
And
wow.
Once again, going right into it. You know, the Janua did a lot of work for Victron last
Yeah,
game,
he's like-
and he's going to lock it right back in this game.
Yep.
Ahmed, however, for Hoove, I think last match he was given a lot of aggressive units, and this match, I think, you know, he's just, if you hand me an aggressive team, I'll take it.
Exactly, right. If I can speed through my opponent, maybe I won't have to worry too much about Janua, especially if you can get that bomb plant, right? Big plays.
Okay, we got 3 cleanser here for Victron, as well as,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm looking at for Hoove?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I'm
you
seeing
thinking
some
what I'm
options.
thinking?
I might be thinking what you're thinking, but we'll have to wait and see if the decision is transmitted through the brain waves across the stage here to see if
I mean, to set the stage for you, right?
yeah.
Yep, there it is.
Pirate
That's
Captain
the
Plan.
combo. Yep.
Oh, for swift attack, right? Because she
Yep.
gives herself a huge amount of CR, right?
50%, right?
So it's a full turn.
Yeah, and when Pirate Captain Flam presses S3,
You're right. She puts
that's
on bombs.
also 50%.
Oh my goodness.
So that's like, if you let the Ahmed go and then the Pirate Captain Flam goes, it's a whole extra turn.
absolutely. That's pretty darn dangerous.
And a speed imprint on top of that.
Oh my goodness, we're going fast.
Whew.
But the Sage Ball here to save Vic Chun's hide a little bit here.
Oh, and you know, just as we were talking about, oh man, oh man, oh man.
We got a lot of things here.
We got, I mean, I think Hoove has 1 to 2 really good picks, but I think for Victron, he has 1 really, really good pick.
I think so too. We'll have to see if it plays out for him.
Yeah, I mean, to add to the context here, Green Vildred essentially as a speed imprint secures the fact that Hoove is going to be taking first turn.
Oh, yeah.
Should he be able to keep his opener units. Meanwhile, for Vicchum, Sage Ball will stop any form of aggression. A little clap for you.
Just says night-night.
Puts the entire enemy team to sleep. And I mean,
Oh, the
if
Holiday
you're the
Euphine
turn 2
pick
player, you
here.
want to see that. That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Yep.
Holiday Euphine takes a hit, pushes up, and cleanses her entire team.
What
And
are these last picks going to be here? Some interesting picks. Still able to secure that opening, but ooh, the reroll in the last second here.
Oh, wow.
This might be
I do
huge.
think that bottom middle pick is huge for
I think this might be.
composition.
That might be. No, goes for FCC again. I
Okay.
think that's the second time we've chosen an FCC.
No, I think that's actually fairly solid as well. So
Absolutely.
Victron has a classic tank down team,
Yep.
whereas, you know, Hoove got that aggression team. He's got 2 opener, a speed imprint, and 2 follow-ups.
And it's hard to say, will they let Janua fly here? I don't know.
Yeah, this might be a no-fly zone. See
Yep.
if that gets taken out.
No vampire zone.
Oh, man.
All right, down to the wire here. Last bans being made here. Sage Ball and Ahmed bans. Very interesting.
Yeah, Sage Ball needs to go just because if Sage Ball sleeps your team, you are pretty much done, right?
Oh, yeah.
Janua will absolutely knock your teeth out.
He hits, he's got like the automatic house, right? Like the smart house. He goes, lights out.
Yup. And here, command model like it does go first, and
Yep.
here you have the option of fishing for some sleeps on the Janua, or going for the S2, and that should pull, I believe, the Milim.
It looks like the Mola might have the highest attack here. Let's see it here. Okay,
Oh no, it pulls
no,
the
it goes
Vildred for an
instead.
S2.
Interesting.
And this is where the game gets a little bit tough because Green Vildred needs the combat readiness push, right? We
Right.
talked about this. Combat readiness is so valuable to enchaining your turns together for an aggressive player.
And who knows, they need to. Oh, dual attack for fun.
Oh,
Oh,
we
no.
don't want that. We don't want that.
Oh, I
Oh,
don't think we're having fun anymore.
he was going to stun the Janua, but now the Janua is taking the turn. Sage Ball stealing your turn was bad, but Janua, not only
Live
does
and
he steal the
die.
turn, he's going to take you out
Oh,
completely.
no. All right, let's see what happens here. Again, Pirate Captain Flam putting on the front line here again.
Oh, wait,
no,
that's a miss. 20% evasion from the Milim.
Is that going to be enough?
Is that going to be?
Okay.
No, she gets hit. Splash does come through.
Big
Do
hit.
you just pile everything in? No, we're going
And
to skip the holiday
Big
Yuffie.
spicy breath here.
Big spicy breath is right.
And yeah,
Takes
and it
down the
looks like-
Vildred to sliver HP. Follows Cecilia. Is going to press the S3. AoE attack comes
It's
through.
looking pretty dangerous right now.
AoE skill nullifier and Vildred is out. That is almost the game locked away. Oh,
And I think
man.
pushing up to Janua saying, hey, look, you might not have showed up in the first match, but this guy performs when he needs to.
Let's see what you can
Yup, and the Janua is just going to take a bite right out of the Pirate Captain Flam.
And that
Boom.
is it.
GG's.
G.
Victron will be your champion of the Mola match, sponsored by the Amazon Appstore. Holy, what a game!
Best of 3.
Is that not the third game?
That was third game. Yeah. Yeah, we're good. Yes, Victron has taken it.
Okay, you scared me. I was like, did I
No, I
prematurely
did-
announce the winner?
I did say it was best of 3 throughout the match. So thank you
Okay.
for being close and astute to our listening here.
Okay,
Congratulations to
woo!
our players. What a set. Oh my goodness, what a great day of matches here. So much happened, right? From the very beginning, just high octane all the way through. How did you feel about it, Volky?
I think, honestly, as somebody who plays a lot of competitive constructive ranked, I did not expect to actually have this much fun with
It was
draft mode.
such a blast.
It honestly is a huge breath of fresh air, right? Especially when I'm not in a hot seat and I'm like, I look like I'm getting cleaved, right? So
Totally.
in a scenario like this where I'm just hyped up for people, I'm excited for people who are making plays.
Oh, yeah.
It's so much fun.
Definitely. Oh, boy, I'm still just coming down from all the excitement.
Yeah, I'm trying to like collect myself, get my soul back, you know?
But while we still have our excitement up, I do want to talk about something I'm also very excited about. Once again, this event has been sponsored by the Amazon Appstore. Don't forget that you can get an amazing 5% discount on cashback in Amazon coins today and tomorrow. Don't miss out on that. And in general, when purchasing with Amazon coins, you can get 10% off of your purchases compared to other stores. Not only that, you can download it through the QR code right below there. Again, only for Android tablets and for Amazon tablets. What a day here. Not only that, though, aside from the big event that we have here today for our draft mode tournament, don't forget that E7WC 2024 is going to be closing its signups very, very soon. So if you haven't done yet, be sure to get in there. I mean, we had such a fun time here. Why wouldn't you try to give it a shot in PvP yourself? You might end up on top.
I mean, I think the qualifiers are ending, tonight, right?
Yeah, pretty much tonight. So if you haven't gotten your chance to play your matches, do so now. Don't, even if you just feel that little bit of itch, have some fun, play some RTA. It's a good time.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a good show this year. So many familiar and new faces as well.
Oh, yeah.
And if you guys are in chat, I'd really be interested to see who you're supporting this year because I'm repping my boy Poopus.
it's going to go for another year. We'll have to see all the amazing competitors that are happening this year. You know, obviously, I would have taken it this year, but, you know, I'm a little busy as a CM. You know, you understand me, right?
Yeah, of
so,
course.
you know, for me and my Max Challenger placement, definitely will be trying to see if I can do a little training arc later on. But I think that's everything for today's event. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's been an absolute blast showcasing the matches here. For those here in-house with us, we do have raffles, giveaways, stuff like that, so be sure to stay in your seats. Do not go anywhere. But for those who have been joining us online, thank you again so much for joining. It's been your guy, Gimmick.
Yeah, I'm Valky. Thank you guys for having me. It's been a blast. And one more for the road, buddy.
Yes, sir. Another awkward handshake. Oh, no, it's... We're good. Thank you again.
We're having
once
too
more.
much fun.
We're having too much fun.
Yeah.
We would love to have much more, but hey, maybe for the future. But once again, thank you guys so much for showing up to the Mola Match tournament presented by the Amazon Appstore. We will see you guys very soon, and take care. Have a good day, good night, wherever you may be. Take care.